Hey, my casual peeps, thanks for joining us for a classy episode of Casually Christian, presented by Livestream My Event. As always, we have Emmanuel behind soundboard and his lovely wife, Monique, behind the search engine. And before we get started, remember to please like and subscribe on our YouTube page, and like the notification bell on the side to catch our latest episodes. So with that said, all right, I know what you guys are thinking. Why is this a classy episode of Casually Christian? It's because we'll be drinking wine and talking about books. More specifically, my friend's book, Joshua Martin's Mastering the Irate Caller.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. I got it right here. See? Very jelly about this because I'm a struggling writer. This is it's really cool, man. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Well, we got to do the cheers.
Okay, we'll do the cheers.
It feels like I have more wine than you.
Why is that?
Wine, oh, is that a pun? Wine is that?
Oh, wine is that? Yeah, wine is that.
Oh, shit.
Hey, good job.
Yeah, very good. Well, thanks for joining us today, man.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Would you?
I really do appreciate it.
No, I like it. Thanks, because you're one of my friends, and I'm really proud that you wrote this book because I know it's very hard to write anything. With with being older, you have like a life. You're an adult, you know what I mean? Things are going around, and to sit down and actually focus on a project that you want to do, it's an accomplishment when you finish it. So
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
And congratulations.
For the show. Thank you.
On the podcast. No, honestly, congratulations.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think we're getting a little bit better each episode. So
yeah.
But
I think so too. I think
today is going to be a really cool episode because we'll be getting classy drunk.
Classy drunk.
Yeah, that's right.
Classy with the K.
Exactly.
Have you ever been there, by the way?
What?
Classy Cuts.
What's that?
It's a barber shop.
Nah, man. Like, my mom cuts my hair. There's no way I'm going to pay more than $30 for a haircut. There's no way.
It's actually here in Norwalk. I won't give the exact location, but it's in Norwalk. Uh-huh. It's called Classy Cuts, but it's with a K.
With a K.
So that's become like an inside joke between me and like
your inner circle
of friends. Yeah.
Okay.
Anytime it's like classy with a K, it's a little dash of ghetto.
When I think of K, I think about Special K from the 90s. I hope that's not it, right?
No.
Yeah. If anybody doesn't know this, but we went to high school together. But you were the class ahead of me, 2001, I think, right? You graduated in 2001?
Yeah, I did, but
I was in
2001?
No, 2002.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, yeah. Well, I think we're learning about each other today, right?
Jeez. But are you serious?
No, I am serious.
Okay.
I was actually held behind in kindergarten because I didn't know the color red. So that's why.
You were colorblind.
Yeah, I was colorblind.
Oh, man.
But I was actually supposed to graduate with your class. But I was held back.
Okay.
So I graduated in 2002.
Okay.
So that's why we hung out with different cliques.
That explains a lot.
Yeah, and that's why we didn't hang out with each other, right? I didn't even know you existed in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you hang out with Eric?
Well, Eric introduced me to you.
Yeah, no, but in high school, did you hang out with him?
With Eric?
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I hung out with him for, I think, a year, and then we kind of, we met in middle school, and what connected us was listening to No Doubt.
Yeah, okay.
We were big No Doubt fanatics, and then that connected us, and then in high school, he introduced me to other group of friends and then we had our little circle. We would hang out like during lunchtime underneath this like ginormous tree at Norwalk High School, facing the street.
Was it close to the senior square?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah? Okay.
Yep, it was. It was over by the God, I don't remember the teacher's name, but it was it was an art teacher.
Oh, was that the teacher who got fired because of drugs?
Yes, him.
Oh, fuck, I don't remember his name. Yeah,
I don't remember his name either.
But the story goes that he was getting high with the students, like in the back room in his art classroom.
Yeah,
yeah, like he built bongs and he was smoking with them, and like I heard like he was buying ecstasy off students, and
Jesus Christ.
he got fired because he got found out.
I mean that's Norwalk for you.
Hey, but you know what? Those are good stories. I think.
You know what? I love those stories, and I love strolling down memory lane and thinking about everything. But yeah, we hung out. So Eric and I hung out for like I think maybe a year or two, and then he sort of said, "Oh, these are my No Doubt friends."
Yeah.
And then I started hanging out with them, and then we
meshed well, right?
Yeah, we meshed well, and then I don't know, like he started hanging out with other people. That you grow apart, and then after that, it was like I just started hanging out with them with this other group, and we started going to concerts together. We started going to No Doubt concerts, Weezer concerts together, Save Ferris concerts together.
Really cool, man. That's like every title that you're saying is just like 90s band.
It's all 90s. Yeah, it's all 90s. I remember we would go spend the night at Jay Leno's studio back.
Really?
Yeah, in Burbank. We did that a couple times.
That's so fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
I remember you told me a story. I don't know if you want me to tell it, but I'm still gonna tell it.
Yeah.
You got drunk at I think it was San Francisco for a No Doubt a concert, and you guys didn't end
Lady
up going.
Lady Gaga concert.
You did, right? Was it that one?
It was a Lady Gaga concert.
Oh, it was Lady Gaga?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you guys didn't end up going because you guys were like too plastered or something like that?
All right, so the story is we went to San Francisco. It was my first time on a plane, okay? Like, you know the movie Richie Valens, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think everybody does, right? I thought it was going to be Richie.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a Richie Valens situation where I was going to die.
That's how I feel every time I go into a plane. I'm like, this is the moment I die. I'm not gonna fulfill my dreams.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go screaming and dying. Like, every time I go into a plane, that's what I think about.
I don't anymore, but at that point,
I wish I could say the same.
Yeah, no, I don't. I've traveled so much where I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
I go prepared now. I know what to do, but that first time, I thought I was.
You were for sure. You were like, this is how I'm gonna die.
Yeah. And so I'm like, you know what? Let me just listen to my favorite album. So I had my iPod and I put on my favorite song, which is "Don't Speak," and I started listening to it, and then I started listening to that whole album, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna die. Like, this is it.
You're like, you're good.
I'm good. Yeah. I'm good. I'm at peace. I'm good. And then we arrived there like 45 minutes later at. We flew out of Long Beach.
That's a normal ride. Like, that's a normal plane ride. Like from Long Beach to San Francisco, that happens.
It was like 45 minutes
every
later.
Hour. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. So then we stay in Union Square, and we end up going to this one club. It was like a brunch place called Lime. I don't think it's there anymore. It was a lunch. It was a brunch place called Lime, and we get in there and we start. It's bottomless mimosas.
Yeah.
And that night we were supposed to go see Lady Gaga, and we flew over there just for Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
We start drinking, and one
of
after
course.
Another.
I mean, how old were you at that time? Like in your early 20s?
Jesus, I think I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
This was a long time ago.
That's why.
Yeah, this was this was like 10 years ago or something. So we were drinking, and then we got really wasted.
Yeah.
And then the brunch place turned into like a club.
Really?
Like there was a DJ. I don't know where
like
the DJ
afternoon?
came out. Yeah, it was like around 1 p.m.
Oh shit.
So we ended up drinking, and we ended up I remember vividly there was a girl walking down the aisles with an umbrella, with a white umbrella.
Yeah. Was she twirling it?
Yeah, she was twirling it.
Yeah.
She was just walking. I'm just like, what's going on? And I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna drink my mimosa. Yeah. And then, anyways, long story short, we ended up waking up 30 minutes before the concert.
Yeah.
Eric and I woke up, and Rosemary, she was in bed. She was sleeping, and I'm like, Eric,
we gotta
go to the concert.
Yeah.
We gotta go to the concert. And we gotta wake up Rosie. We gotta wake up Rosie. And we get on top of the bed and we're jumping on it because she's not waking up.
Oh.
We're jumping, we're jumping, and we're flashing like lights on her.
She was like unresponsive.
She was gone.
Yeah.
She was gone. And then the one time she woke up, we were like, we're late to the Gaga concert. And she's like, just go without me. She doesn't remember that part, but she said that.
Yeah.
She's like, just go without me. I'm going to stay here. I'm like, all right. So we ended up getting into this taxi, and I'm like, take us to Gaga.
Yeah.
I was like so gone.
Yeah.
And we go to the Gaga concert, and I remember it was like a hot box in there.
Oh, so it was inside?
It was inside.
Oh,
yeah,
shit, dude.
It was inside. Yeah. And Kid Cudi was opening up. And I just remember everybody went wild for Kid Cudi. It's like, it's almost as if they were there to see him.
Is that the guy who's saying day night?
Yes, that's him.
Yeah,
that's him.
See, I'm hip. I know what's up.
Yeah, you're hip. Yeah. He was on that song with David Guetta as well.
Oh, I don't know who that is. I'm not that hip.
You know David Guetta?
No, I don't. I don't.
Okay.
Maybe if you sing like maybe a few lyrics. I could probably, but we don't have the rights to it, so.
Oh, okay, yeah, let's not.
I'll Google it later.
Is it true that you have 30 seconds to like a copywritten song?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Up to 30 seconds.
Yes.
Is that yeah?
Yes.
Okay, that's a yes.
We do, but usually YouTube likes to take stuff down.
Oh, because
that's so true. That is so
fascists.
true.
Fascist.
They're whatever algorithms they have in place, they pick music up like
right away, right?
Right away.
It's the fucking AI and shit.
It's the AI.
But did he have a good time?
Oh yeah, let me finish the story.
Did he have a good
Okay,
time? Like,
so I had an amazing time. It was Eric and I, and we enjoyed the show. I loved Kid Cudi's set.
Yeah.
I loved it, and he did that David Guetta song that I love, and then Gaga came out, and it was just.
So you guys
awesome.
made it in time.
We made it in time.
Okay.
And then when we got back to the hotel, we knocked out, and then in the morning,
She was like, what
Rosemary
happened?
was like, "What the hell happened?"
Yeah.
It was awesome, and but
you know what though? That's your 20s, man. You know what I mean? It's like
that's your 20s.
Yeah,
Yep,
because
that's right.
I think about the 20s as you being still in your teens but able to drink. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And then you get in your 30s and then you understand what works and what doesn't. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I did that before. I'm not going to do that again.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's cool to be in your 30s, your dirty 30s. You know
Dirty
what I mean?
30s.
And
Yeah.
I'm enjoying them sometimes, but sometimes I look in the mirror, it's like, ah, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, this gray hair.
It's like, who is this guy?
Yeah, who's this person? Used to
Yeah.
be cool. I wasn't. But let's go back to this. Well, not go back, but wine, man. Would you consider yourself a wine connoisseur?
No.
No?
I do not consider myself a wine connoisseur, but I love a wine called Beaujolais.
Beaujolais sounds very fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds bougie. How's how to say that?
It's Beaujolais.
Beaujolais. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. As Robert would say, he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, Beaujolais."
How much is it?
Like
$20?
It's like 15, $20.
Oh, okay.
I've seen it as high as $25 at like Bevmo, Total
Yeah.
Wine, but Rite Aid.
Mm.
If you go to Rite Aid,
Yeah.
they normally have it on sale for like $8.
So that's a trick. That's a life hack, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hacks,
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
hacks. Yeah.
I'm the same way too. Like, my go-to drink is Bacardi because
Uh-huh.
I know how to handle it. Like in the morning, it's like, all right, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you understand the highs and lows, you know.
Yeah.
But I know where to buy it cheap. You know, sometimes it's either like at Stater Bros or Food for Less. I never go to Ralph's because it's like $12.99. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, that's my
Bacardi.
boost. Yeah.
I purchased a Bacardi item on clearance
Uh-huh.
at Total Wine. It was a gigantic bottle of Bacardi, tangerine flavor, and it was like $9 at
What?
Total Wine.
What?
Yep.
That's fucking steal, dude. It's like
Check
they
it
want
out.
you to get alcohol poisoning at
Yeah.
that point, you know what I mean? Where was it
Yeah.
again?
Total Wine.
Total Wine?
Yeah.
I think I heard of that place. I don't
There's so I have one by my house. So I live in Riverside,
know.
and there's one in Rancho Cucamonga.
Is
Or
that- is
as
that
a
too
lot of
far
people
from you?
say, Cuchimanga.
Duh. So was it? I guess is that your most expensive wine that you ever drank?
No.
What's the most expensive wine you ever drank?
Okay. So there was one time I was working in Torrance,
Uh-huh.
and I got a promotion, and I was on cloud 9.
Mhm.
And there happened to be a Bevmo right across the street from the hospital I was
Mhm.
working at. So I go during my lunch, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna treat myself. I'm gonna do something really, really
Yeah.
nice for myself. I don't normally do this, but I went in there and I'm like, I'm just gonna buy an expensive bottle of wine.
Yeah.
So I bought like $100 bottle of wine.
Mm.
I took it home, and the first sip was like, "Oh, Oscar, this is
Yeah.
nasty." I couldn't. I
Hey,
I
did you
couldn't
finish
drink
it at least?
I didn't.
Oh,
No.
You didn't finish
no,
it?
I didn't finish
I
it.
would have finished it because like I just can't waste money like that. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like, I have
no.
to. I don't care, and then I'll learn my lesson.
No,
You know what I mean?
it tastes like. Have you ever played King's Cup?
Is that the quarter game where you play like the quarters and you drink, or am I thinking of something else?
It's the game where whoever the loser is,
Uh-huh.
whoever the players
Yeah.
are, whoever loses, there's a cup in the middle.
and they mix all their
and-
drinks together. Like,
Yeah. So you could be drinking wine. I
Yeah.
could be drinking whiskey. Somebody else could be
yeah,
drinking vodka.
I played that game before.
And you all put it in the middle, and
Yeah.
the loser, like the
Mhm.
big loser,
yeah, he
has
drinks
to.
the whole thing.
chug it, yeah.
yeah.
It tastes a little like that.
Really? That's
Yeah.
disgusting.
It was disgusting. I'm like, no,
No.
I'm
no.
okay. Give me my $2
Yeah.
fresh and easy wine.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
back in the day, fresh and easy.
Fresh and easy, man. Fuck,
Yeah.
I miss Fresh and Easy, dude. I love.
I
fucking-
miss fresh and easy.
Yeah, like I used to buy like these cheap Christmas trees, like over there for $40.
Yeah.
It was like a Charlie Brown tree. Oh, it worked for me.
yeah.
But I miss fresh. It's all about right now. It's what's like, good markets, or it's like, no, what's that commercial? There's a market that opened up in the Norwalk Town Squares. Whole good markets. Do you guys know? It's in the town square.
You're talking about outlet market?
Outlet market. Yeah.
Outlet groceries, there you
That's
go.
the new Fresh and Easy.
Yes, yes.
That's the new Fresh and
They
Easy.
just opened one of those up in Norco, like right down the street from my house.
Yeah, it's decent. You know, it's
Yeah.
not too bad.
It's good.
Well, shit, man. Let's talk about your book now, right?
Okay.
All right.
Before we talk
Oh,
about
okay.
my book, did I finish the Lady Gaga story? No, I didn't.
Oh, you
let
didn't?
me say
Oh,
one more
okay.
thing. Okay.
Just to cap it off.
Just to cap it off. So my friend Rosemary, my BFF Rosie, was like
Shit-faced,
distraught.
yeah.
She was like, I can't believe you guys didn't wake me up. And I'm
Mhm.
like, we woke you up. You just, she didn't remember it.
Yeah.
She ended up tweeting about it.
Mhm.
Lady Gaga saw it and she retweeted it. And she said, best tweet ever.
What?
Exclamation point.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
So
did you guys get a screenshot, or do you guys have like a screenshot?
I'm sure she does.
Yeah,
I'm sure
that's
she
really
does.
cool.
And then Rosie went from like, I don't know how many followers to all of a sudden hundreds of followers.
Mm.
And
So did she get like a free show afterwards or anything?
yeah, she really did. Like,
Yeah.
no, well, no. But
no.
I mean, she got her consolation prize.
Which was the tweet?
The tweet.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. She was riding on that high for a while.
You know, I almost met Lady Gaga once. I was working like at a production, like a commercial for like Dell,
Uh-huh.
and she was like the person promoting the product, the computer.
Okay.
And I was the PA, so I was running around and all that stuff. But this was a time where she was filming American Horror Story. So
oh,
she
the
was,
hotel one.
yeah,
In
she was
downtown
going-
LA, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And she was, this was during the schedule and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So she had it in her contract that she had to be chauffeured around in, I think it was a Royal Royce. So how do you say that? I'm thinking
Rolls Royce.
Rolls Royce.
Rolls-
I can't. Fuck. I can't say it. How do you say
I
it?
know what you mean.
Yeah. How do you say it again?
Rolls Royce.
Yes, that. It was like a Cruella de Vil type of vehicle. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
like that. It was like no dents. It was all clean, shiny, and all that. It was all parked right there. I was like, wow, like she's here, but I never saw her.
So you were so you were a PA.
Yeah, I was a PA for one of her promos or whatever, but I never seen her.
But you never saw her.
Never saw her.
Okay.
She was like in the dressing room when I was back. So she's in the dressing room getting ready.
Yeah.
And I had to go off to pick up food. And then when I brought back the food, she was done with her promo and she was out of there. And that was it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And then everybody was like, because it took them about close to 4 hours to set up. And she was only there for like maybe 10 minutes. And that was it.
So now, were you her PA or were
it
you
was the
her
production.
assistant?
No, I was not assistant. I had no affiliation with her personally.
Okay.
It was just the company that hired her to promote the product.
Got it. Okay.
So,
All right.
yeah, that was cool.
So what's the role of a PA?
You're basically everybody's bitch now.
You go
yeah,
get
man.
the
Like, yeah,
Starbucks
no, yeah.
and-
You go to Starbucks. You have like no power. You just you tell them. They tell you what to do, and you do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you meet actors, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes people eat the food that you're promised to get, and you just suck it up, and you keep on going.
Yeah.
And you work for 14 hours, 16 hours, and that's
God.
it's a hard life.
Yeah.
I admire anybody who's doing that like for 6 or 7 years because it's very hard because like it affects people's like relationships,
Right.
Their home lives and all that stuff because
Yeah.
you're living, you're always working, But anyways, that's a side topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
But
can
anyways.
imagine that
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
I did in 2008. I was asked to be in an Amnesty International, like it was going to be like a worldwide TV spot,
Yeah.
and it actually ended up premiering at the Cannes Festival.
Wow.
And I didn't know at the time. I was so naive. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, Cannes Festival.
What was
I
that?
don't know what's that.
Was that tuna?
Yeah, right. And I was like, I was part of it, but it ended up being the final product ended up being less than 2 minutes,
Yeah.
and I was there for 17 hours.
Wow.
And
Yeah, that seems about right.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was. I remember it was from 7. It was 7 p.m. to like the next morning.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God,
Yeah,
there's
you
a
were
lot of
flabbergasted
waiting.
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I was like taken aback, and I was. It was the next morning. I'm like, it's freezing. First of all, it's freezing. I had like a white T-shirt on, and there's a lot of waiting around. Setting, moving the cameras around, moving the lighting
It's
around.
a lot of waiting.
I didn't know that was my first like
Introduction
real life
into it.
introduction
Yeah.
to like the entertainment, behind the
It's
scenes.
not for everyone. I could tell you that. If you're even people who are passionate, it's like it's very. If you're just like the PA, it's very dry and kind of boring. But once they yell action and you're in there on set, it's worth it. I think.
Yeah.
Just for that moment when where like everybody starts getting into the like the role, like where they have the background playing and then like
Yeah.
the actor doing their thing,
Right.
and they have to start all over again, like a rewind type of thing. It's pretty interesting to see that.
Yeah.
Oh man, I got a lot of stories about that. But you know what? This show's about you. We're gonna talk about your book.
All right,
now,
let's
you know
do
what I
it.
mean?
Let's talk about my book,
Mastering the Irate Caller.
Mastering the Irate
So-
Caller. That's right.
How many people who don't know you? So you come from a customer service background?
I do. So I've been in the customer service field for over 20 years now.
Uh-huh.
And I started with a major financial institution
Mhm.
as a bilingual customer service
course.
representative. And within 6 months, I would say, of working there, they said, wow, you're really good at your job. And they promoted me right away. And I just remember I'm like, oh my God, like this is so surreal. Like
Yeah.
before working at the call center, I was working at Disneyland cleaning restrooms.
Yeah.
So you can imagine,
Yeah, it was
from
like
that,
a different.
it was a completely
Yeah.
different show. And I'm like, oh wow, like I didn't know I was good at this.
Yeah.
And so they promoted me after 6 months, and then there was a time where I went through 2 months
Mhm.
of training. 2
Okay.
months. That's like otherworldly, right? You don't ever hear about that.
Yeah.
It's usually a week or two.
Yeah, and then they throw you into the fire, and it's like you
Exactly.
figure it out. Yeah.
Exactly. But this company was like, they invested 2 months of training, and I'm like, I'm so glad they did that. And then once they threw me out into the fire, I started taking the phone calls, and then my first irate caller, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
what did I get myself into?
Yeah.
I mean, I was berated, I was humiliated,
Yeah.
I was insulted, and I brushed it off. But then you go to work every single day, and you
it's
have
like a
multiple.
It's like it's an everyday thing.
It's an everyday thing.
Yeah.
You have multiple people berating you, and some of them know exactly how to get in under your skin.
Really.
and it's almost as if it's like a skill, like you know how to get under somebody's skin, and they were using my name. They're like, oh, well, you know.
No, like no. Give me like just a small example of how they got under your skin.
Well, they would say things like, are you're new, right?
Oh,
Are you still in training?
yeah, condescending.
Very
Yeah,
condescending.
condescending,
Or they would say things like, I've called dozens of times before, and the last representative was able to do it for me. How
Yeah.
come you're not able to do it for me? You must not know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You're,
I
you're
heard
new, right?
Yeah, I heard. I've been in situations where I heard the same type of dialogue, and it's like almost like the same person calling over and over again. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, it's very, it brings down your morale. You know what
It
I mean?
does.
Right away. Even
Yeah.
though you're thinking it's like you could take it, but if it's happening like every hour, every day, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
At first, I was able to brush it off, and after a while, I'm like, okay, it's taking a toll on me. I would like, I don't know if I should. I would run like I would.
No, you
excuse
could curse.
myself.
You could say anything.
All
That's
right.
not as long as it's not offensive.
Yeah.
Honestly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's not offensive nowadays?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I won't get into that.
Yeah.
But I would have to put myself on after call work. I'd have to literally power walk
Yeah.
to the restroom. I'd lock myself in a stall, and I would just
Cry.
cry, bawl, and I'm like, what did I get myself into?
dude.
And then I would go back, and then during my lunch and my breaks, at first I would go to lunch and go to breaks with my coworkers, and who we
Yeah.
all need a break, right?
Yeah,
We
of
all
course.
need
Yeah.
some
Because we're not
camaraderie.
robots. You got to have some kind of interactions with coworkers.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of get stretch your legs.
It's a
and stuff
balance.
Like that. Yeah,
Exactly. It's a balance. And so I started going to break and lunch with, certain people, and then I started just going to my car. And I'm like, I knew that I was going to cry. I knew that I was going to just start bawling and have a meltdown, and I would go to my car, and sure enough, I would drive. I remember I'd drive to McDonald's, which was like a mile from there. I'd go to McDonald's, I'd go get something to eat, I'd sit in my car, and I'd just start crying. I'm like, ugh, this is too much.
Yeah.
And I was told repeatedly by people that I should just go kill myself. And
Really?
yeah, it was. Yeah, people are evil.
Yeah.
People are evil.
Especially if they can't see you. I bet you they wouldn't say that to you if they saw you in person.
No.
And that's why
No.
the internet's filled with trolls, because
Right.
you hide behind the screen. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? You could be like a dick, whatever you want to be,
Yeah. Exactly.
But I think that's everybody who's worked in the customer service industry. Even if they work at a Target or Walmart, they deal with these type of irate callers, or
Yep.
like a Karen or a Ken. You know what I mean? And if
Karen or Ken.
if anybody's watching right now, if you guys have a nightmare customer service that you want to share during the show, please comment, and we'll read it out in a few, if you guys want to. But I have plenty of them. When I used to work at Blockbuster, it's
Used
it's
to work
crazy.
at
I used to
Blockbuster?
work at Blockbuster right there by Savon's, when it used to be Blockbuster, not an O'Reilly.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That was my Blockbuster. I used to
man,
go there all the
everybody's
time.
Blockbuster in Norwalk, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to work there after film school. I think it was maybe 20. I was 21, but it was pretty cool. But what made it difficult was the customer, because they got really passionate and irate about
Yeah.
either they got charged extra because they didn't return it on time.
Oh, right.
It was a rewind. Remember VCRs?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was because they got a rewind
Be
fee.
kind.
Yeah.
Rewind.
yeah, there you go. And I've been in situations plenty of times where they weren't arguing, the customer was being very physical and belligerent to us. I remember this one guy, he slammed his VHS on the counter and started talking all this shit to one of my coworkers, and I even got some of the brute, brute from it, from
Yeah.
other customers, and it's very difficult to deal with these entitled people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind of I like your book because it gives you, it tells you how to not only deal with them, it gives you exercises,
Right.
and it's very clear to read too. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
like difficult. It's not trying to be over, like you're not trying to be like highly like complicating like with the verbiage. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like you're having a conversation with the reader.
Right.
And that's what I liked about your book. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I'm getting to know you and how to deal with these difficult fucking customers. You know?
You know what? That was one of my goals. I said, I need to articulate everything that I have to say, but in plain language.
Yeah.
And I think I did that because writing a book it was on my bucket list.
Yeah.
And it had been on my bucket list for many years. And I don't know why around 2019 I started to feel like a sense of urgency, like
Yeah.
you need to write this now.
Yeah.
And I started writing it, and then I put it away, cuz
Yeah.
life gets in the way.
Yeah.
I went to revisit it, and then I said, you know what, I'm going to do this. I finally put a deadline on myself. I said, by my birthday, September 21st of 2019, my book needs to be finished. So I started writing for like 6 months, and you can go on tons of websites now and hire a ghostwriter and hire
Yeah, I don't
all
see what's
these other
the point
people.
of that. Like,
Yeah.
why would somebody hire a ghostwriter to write something? I'm like, you have to do the effort, at least
If you
write
don't,
the...
right. I mean, if you don't have the time to do it, if you're really busy, I could see why people hire ghostwriters, but I didn't want to do
Yeah.
that. I wanted it to come out organically
yeah.
from me,
Yeah.
and I wanted somebody to read it and be like, "Oh yeah, I can hear Martin say that."
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
know.
I mean, I heard... When I was reading this, I was like... I was hearing you talk, and that's
Okay.
really good.
All right.
Because the secret is to writing a good book is like having a conversation.
Right.
And I heard a lot of, just like advices. One of the advices said that when you're writing something, pick somebody that you're telling the story to, whether it's your mom or your brother, and just tell them the story, and then
Right.
you'll find your audience.
Right.
You know, and I
Right.
think you do that. You know.
Thank you.
How,
Thank you.
How are the sales on this book? If you don't find, let me take a guess. It started out pretty like in the beginning, it started out great, but now it's kind of like slowing down, right?
It
right?
definitely slowed down.
Yeah.
So I have a paperback version. I have a digital version.
Yeah.
And I have an audio version too, but I'm still waiting for Audible to approve that version. I think
How come it's waiting to be approved?
It's waiting to be approved because of COVID. There was a disclaimer.
Oh, okay.
There was a disclaimer. They said it normally takes 30 days. I submitted it back in September. I hired this really super talented, voice actor, and it sounds really good. I listened to it. I'm like,
It's looking
this
legit,
this
dude.
is
It's fucking
good.
fire,
I was
right?
like, this is legit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like super excited, super stoked about
But
it.
it's taking forever, right?
And now it's taking forever. And they make you go through this like really tedious application process. And I submitted it. It must have taken me like an hour to submit it. And then when I did, there was a disclaimer that said because of COVID thing, there's a delay.
Yeah.
So I figured, okay, normally it would take a month. Now it's probably going to take maybe 2 months. So I waited the 2 months. I reached out to them. I said, what's going on? So I'm still waiting to hear back. If I don't hear back by the end of the year, I'm just going to post it on YouTube, and it's going to be available to everybody.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Like, at least you have to take the initiative, because if you wait on people, then it's not going to go anywhere, you know?
Right.
How much, like, what is the success right now, like, with your story? Like, do you still get like a lot of, are people like buying it every day, or is it like every other day, or?
I'll say this.
I just want to know.
Since July, I haven't talked about this, but I was laid off from a job that I was with them for about 13 years.
Oh wow!
And I got laid off because of COVID. And it wasn't just me. It was like 200
Do you think they're
other
gonna hire
people.
you back though? Like after this whole thing, did they give you like kind of like that open door? No, it's like
no, I don't
you don't
think
think
so.
huh?
I've moved on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and do
Something else.
bigger and better things.
Are you gonna
and-
go back in customer service?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, would you say that's your passion, customer service?
It is my passion. I love customer service. I love customer service. I know how to finesse customer. I know how to talk
Yeah.
to a customer. I can get the most iratest caller
To calm down.
calm them down,
Yeah.
and I make it my mission. It's kind of like, all right, Operation Calm this
It
customer
makes you feel
down.
good
and-
if once like you get somebody who's fucking like blowing his top off,
Yeah.
and then he starts relaxing,
Right.
and he thanks you in the end. It's,
Right.
Yeah. It's it feels pretty good because
Exactly.
Yeah.
It feels it feels good. It feels really good that not only was I able to calm somebody down, but I was able to help them and
Yeah.
resolve their issue. And in July, after 13 years of being with the company, I got laid off because of COVID, and then I was already planning on releasing my book.
Mhm.
I held on to it for a while though, because
Were you scared that?
I was scared.
Yeah, direct. Because when you're writing something, regardless if it's a self-help book or whatever you write, you're still throwing yourself out there. It's still your personality.
Right.
And then when somebody doesn't like it, it sort of feels like a personal attack on you.
Right.
You know, even though you don't want to, because it's all constructive criticism, and that's how it is. You know, it's all art. Art is subjective, and if they don't like it, it's still your personality, and it feels like they're rejecting your personality. Was that the reason why you held off on the book?
I'm a perfectionist,
Uh-huh.
and it has to be perfect.
Yeah.
In order for me to release something to the public.
Yeah.
And so the book had been finished like months
Oh,
before
so you're
I
just
got
sitting on
laid
it?
off. I was sitting on it.
Mhm.
I shelved it because I figured, I'm gonna eventually, when I have time, I'm gonna revisit this. And
Mhm.
because of COVID, my job, I was working. There were days where I was working from 6 in the morning to midnight.
Wow.
Working from home, mind you, but I was working all day.
Yeah.
And that was because of COVID. Every single day, things would change, policies would change, and I didn't have time. So I figured I'm going to shelve this. And then when I got the news that I was losing my job, I said, you know what? That weekend, I had my last day was on a Friday. That weekend, I had a lot of time to contemplate and to think about what
Yeah.
my next move was going to be. And I figured, you know what? I'm just going to release my book as is. I'm not going to try to be a
Did you
perfectionist.
have a story editor? Did you have a story editor?
Oh yeah, that had already been done. I hired an editor,
Uh-huh.
and she's an amazing editor, by
How'd
the
you
way.
find the editor?
Online.
Online? Okay. I found a...
I don't know how to pronounce it. It's either Fiverr or Fiverr.
Oh, you never met her? Or her?
No.
Or him?
Her.
Her? Okay. I'm lucky that I have a story editor, and I met her through a friend, and she's
Mhm.
really good. Like, she edited the stories that you read, and I just need to get one more feedback from it before I give her to do another revision before I release it online. And
Yeah.
I wanted to release it, hopefully, I know I say every year, but for sure I'm going to release it next year.
Right.
But this isn't about me, it's about you, so.
No, but that's good though. That's good though. You
Yeah.
should release it. It's really
Yeah.
good. When I sent you my book,
Mhm.
and then you emailed me your short stories, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's
Yeah.
it's really good. I started
Yeah.
reading them. It's really good.
Did you get to the second story with the little girl? No, you didn't?
I
You can
didn't.
tell me. No,
I
no,
didn't.
No?
No, I'm gonna
Yeah.
be honest. I didn't.
Yeah. Is it because it was too slow, or you didn't like life was happening?
Life was
You tell-
happening.
You can tell me
It's
it
not.
sucked.
No, it had
You can
nothing
tell
to
me
do
it
with you.
Uh-huh.
It had nothing to do with the story. It was
Uh-huh.
just that life took over.
sucked. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you know what? Those stories, they all take place in Norwalk. They all take place at night, and it all deals with this the insomniac problem.
Uh-huh.
And they all share the same world. They all live in the same space. So each story kind of connects within itself. But that's more later on. It's again, it's not about me. It's about my guest.
Hey, you
Yeah.
know what? This is a casual conversation.
casual
so
conversation,
You can
but-
talk about whatever you have going on.
Because I am interested to hear what people have to say about these stories that I've written. Because my Facebook told me it's been 5 years since I started this journey on
Really?
the story that I've been writing.
Yeah.
And I'm writing the story that I'm writing right now. It was supposed to be a short story, but now
Mhm.
it's turning. It's a book now.
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm okay
Okay.
with it.
Yeah.
But my justification about it is that this story that I'm writing right now, that's a book, is going to be the centerpiece of all the stories that are going to be connected to this one story.
I see.
Yeah, and then it's going to conclude with this conclusion. But I'm going to talk about it more later. I don't wanna
Okay,
get into
all right.
About it. But it all takes place in our hometown, Norwalk,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be dope as fuck.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
But if you guys want to follow me on Facebook, it's called The Late Night Hour. The Late Night Hour.
Yeah.
Facebook. My post.
It's like, subscribe,
Like,
follow,
yeah, all that good shit.
comment,
Yeah.
all of that.
Hey, do you have a fan page on Facebook for your book? Mastering That, you should, because you
No.
could do your promotions on that.
Like run my own fan page?
Exactly.
Oh.
Like, so it's
Okay.
your Facebook, and you could create your own page for whatever you want,
Mm-hmm.
and then you build it kind of like remember MySpace. You know what I mean? You build it the way you want it,
Right.
and then you promote it as like, I'm gonna pay $20 for like a 3-day run, and 1,000 people are gonna see it in my demographic that I choose.
Oh, I see.
And then
I
they
see what
start
you mean.
collecting it. They start liking it.
Right.
You get strangers liking it. It feels really good when
Right.
people who don't even know you are liking your stuff, trying
Right.
to follow you. It's a great fucking feeling, man. And I suggest
Yeah.
you to doing that.
Okay. I do have a business Facebook page.
Yeah.
It's Joshua Martin Entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
That's
tailored
good, but you should
to-
have one for your book specifically.
for the book.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I
From
need to do
experience.
that. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
thanks
since your
for the
book's
tip.
already done, all you have
Yeah.
to do is just try to promote it to get
Try to
people to
promote
buy
it,
it.
yeah.
You know.
I'm trying to. I have been doing promo, and to get to your first question
Mhm.
about the sales,
Yeah. Oh yeah. that's right.
I was doing really good at first, and it sort of died down.
Yeah.
But I've been averaging at least one book sale a day since July.
Oh, that's
At
cool.
least one. And there was a time, which was actually very recently, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, where there was like a 4-day gap where there was like no activity. And then it picked up again.
Was there like a holiday? Can you like justify that 4-day gap?
I have
You're
no
trying to
idea.
like rationalize like, oh, what's going on?
I look at the analytics.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. At first, I was looking at the analytics every single day, a couple
Oh yeah,
times a day.
yeah.
I'm just like,
yeah. I know, man.
how many am I selling?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know,
I'm
can
the
I
same
make a
way with
living off of this?
this
And
thing too, man. I'm like, how many people are watching it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm kind of tapering off right now, just so it could go on its own. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I think everybody does that. You know, it's not just you and me. You know.
after a while,
we
though,
got a message.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to read it, or do you want to read it?
It doesn't matter.
Can you read it if you have a
Yeah.
microphone?
Yeah.
What we're doing right now is somebody they're sharing their one of their nightmare customer service stories right now, and Monique's going to read it. So whenever you're
Okay.
ready.
So Ariana Lopez says, "Hi buddies, I remember you at Blockbuster. I worked at a bankruptcy firm. We used to take debt creditor calls. They were mean and called me stupid, asked if I knew what I was doing. They made me feel bad about myself, and I'd go cry after."
That's like every customer service job, right?
Mhm. That's like every customer service
Yeah.
job. And
Thank you,
hi,
Ariana, for sharing. We appreciate it.
if it's the Ariana that I
It
think
is.
it
It is.
I miss you.
Hey, buddy.
So when it comes to dealing with irate callers, there's many different ways for you to speak to a customer.
Yeah.
And there's a happy customer, there's a neutral customer, and then there's the irate caller. And the irate caller, there's a very specific formula that you have to follow.
Mhm.
And one of the biggest things is not take anything personally.
Yeah, man.
That's
That's really
number
hard,
one.
though. I mean, don't you think? Like taking it like somebody who's not accustomed to it, they
Right.
would take it pretty hard. So how would you tell that person?
It
like,
takes time.
It does take
It
time.
takes time.
Practice make perfect, no?
That's right. Yeah, it takes time. You're not going to get this in 1 day,
Yeah.
in 2 days, in 3 days, because what you're doing, you're essentially taking the programming, right?
Mhm.
You're taking whatever's in your subconscious mind and whatever you're programmed to do and programmed to react, and you are now training it to
feel
act
like
a different way. You're saying, okay, during this period of my day, you're not supposed to react that way.
Yeah.
And it's like you're rewiring your brain is what you're doing, and that takes time.
It does.
It's not an overnight type of thing.
Yeah.
But the number one thing is don't take anything personally.
Yeah.
And
Have you, in the beginning, did you take it personally?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time. even recently, I would say, because I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
And just because I wrote a book on it doesn't mean I'm perfect.
Mm.
There have been times where I'm just like, what did you just say?
Yeah.
What did you just call
Would you
me?
just- yeah. How
You know,
dare they?
Yeah, I'm like, my Norwalk side comes
yeah.
out, but
Like, mm-mm.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I have to, roll myself back
Yeah.
and calm down and calm myself down. But what really helps is meditation. That helps me out tremendously.
Yeah.
Because with I've been meditating now for about 5 years, and ever since I started, at first, something really mundane or really just trivial would set me off, and I would become super upset, and it would actually take a toll on me where it would last like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something really dumb as you cutting me off in traffic.
Yeah.
I would be upset for like a good 10 minutes.
Have you ever flipped anybody off in traffic?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
all
I
the
have.
time. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All the time. All the time. But after a while, you start to,
Let it go.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. And then with meditation, especially concentration meditation and mindfulness meditation,
Yeah.
that really helped me out. And now if somebody cuts me off, that 30 seconds or that 30 minutes or however long I used to be upset for,
Yeah.
it's shortened to seconds. So now I'm still human. I'm gonna get upset.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get like, I'm gonna want to flip
Yeah.
the bird at them, but
Yeah.
that 30 minutes is now shortened to 5 seconds, 10 seconds,
Mhm.
and then you can
Just
all
let
right,
it go.
Let it go. Go about your day.
Yeah.
Because the reality is that when you're in traffic, that's what's going to happen.
Mm.
And it's nothing personal against you. They woke up late, or maybe they underestimated traffic time. And
I don't understand how people could drive like assholes in the morning to go to a job that they don't like. Oh my, are you really are you really driving this recklessly to go to a job that you fucking hate? You
Right.
know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
fucking just chill,
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah. That's why it's important to love what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
You really do have to enjoy what you do.
Yeah. To me, you have to love what you do, and it has to be tolerable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have to tolerate what I do, and so far, what I'm doing is tolerable.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Well,
Is there like some kind of like mantra or like you said something that relaxes you, like what's it called, like an exercise that you do to yourself to calm yourself down?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's
personally.
I call it the emergency reset method.
Okay.
And so this is what I would do when in between. I'm not saying every single call, okay? I'm just saying the really hot customers, the really irate customers. After I would speak to them, I would take about 30 seconds and I would do this exercise where I would do like a breathing exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like breathe in for
Yeah.
5 seconds. I'd hold it for 2 seconds. I'd exhale for 7 seconds, and then I would smile, like, and then visualize a happy memory, something that brings me joy.
Yeah.
And I have many of them. I have many happy memories. Some with my family, some with Robert, some with there's so many
Whoever,
memories that I
yeah,
have.
yeah.
So many memories. Some with my, with my dog Jackson that passed away a couple years ago, and I have so many happy memories that
Yeah.
I think about those memories, and while I'm simultaneously smiling. Do you want to do it?
Actually, I was thinking about if you could lead this, anybody who's watching, if you could lead that exercise to them. You know what I mean? While I make myself a drink.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
all right, cool.
Well,
While you make yourself a drink, can you refill?
Yeah.
This
So
one.
go for it.
All right.
You take the lead. You concentrate. You tell the audience how to, breathe in, breathe out. You know what I mean? How to
All
do
right.
that, and then I'll come back with your drink.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
We'll have Josh Martin lead everybody right now. So,
All right.
there you go, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put this over here. All right, so I'm gonna have to. I know this by heart, but I have to shamelessly promote. I'm gonna. It's on page. It's on page 27, and so the emergency reset method. So this is a method that I used to follow every single day, and the first thing that you want to do is, correct your posture. You want to quiet your mind. You want to just let it all go. And the first thing you want to do is breathe in. Inhale for 5 seconds. So hold it for 2. Exhale for 7. And then do that again. Do it about 2 or 3 times. And then once you're done doing that, you should smile. If whoever's watching, do it with me. Smile, smile. Now, simultaneously be thinking about a happy memory. For me, right now, I'm thinking about me being in Mexico, me being in Puerto Vallarta with Robert, and just really enjoying life. And it's like a tropical paradise there. And visualize whatever makes you happy and continue to smile. I would say smile for about 11, 12 seconds. And once that's done, you're going to feel renewed, refreshed, and you're going to be ready for the next call. It's going to give you that, that jump start to take the next call. Maybe the last call you just took, it made you super irate and your heart's beating and you're super anxious and upset. And now with the emergency reset method, you do that in between your irate calls, and it's going to just prepare you to take the next call with a clear and happy mind. So I want you to do it.
Well, let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
So breathe in. Let me tell you first what it is. You're going to breathe in for 5 seconds.
Okay.
You're going to hold it for 2, and you're going to exhale for 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to do that twice. Let's just do it now.
COVID free. Okay.
Okay. Inhale. Hold for 2. Exhale for 7. Do it again. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Exhale for 7. And now smile.
Hey, everyone.
No, smile.
Oh, smile?
Smile.
Uh-huh.
Keep smiling.
Uh-huh.
And now, while you're smiling, think of a memory that brings you joy.
Pizza.
Anything, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Could be with a loved one here or someone that's passed.
Mm.
Smile. Keep smiling. Keep
All right.
smiling.
Hey,
keep
it's working.
smiling.
It's working. I feel positive.
Okay.
Not
And
that I
then
didn't
just-
feel positive in the beginning, but yeah.
And just focus on that memory.
Mm.
And whether you have to close your eyes, you could do whatever you want. Just focus on that memory that's going to bring you joy. And I'm sure you have many.
Yeah.
And once you're done, you're like, okay, I'm ready to
I'm ready
take
to go
on the
back.
next call. And that didn't take any more than 30 seconds.
And
So
you could do
that's
that,
how...
You could do that like at any point that you're working, right?
You don't have to be a call center rep.
Yeah.
You could be any rep. Or
you
you could
think-
be anybody.
Do you think this could also benefit people who work at a toxic work environment?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Would you accept working at a toxic work environment?
Would I accept?
Yeah, personally.
You know, I'm...
like, because it's different to work with the irate caller.
Mhm.
That's the client.
Right.
But would you accept getting that irate boss? There's two different things.
Right.
Would you quit your job if your boss was irate, like a Karen or Ken?
No.
You know what I mean? No, right? Because life is too short, right?
Yeah, I think something different drives me, I think.
Yeah.
I try not to take anything personally,
Mhm.
and that's the attitude that you have to have when you're on the phone with an irate caller.
Yeah.
You can't take anything personally. You have to use a certain tone of voice. Like, I don't know if have you ever been in a restaurant? I'm sure you have. You've been in a restaurant where you're having a conversation and then all of a sudden somebody starts to raise their voice. And it's like,
oh, what's going on?
What's going on?
Yeah.
And that's because there's a scientific reason for that. That's because that tone of voice sends signals of threat.
Yeah.
And so
it's what's called fight or flight. That's
exactly.
What it's called.
Our amygdala becomes hyperactive, and we start to get into fight or flight mode, or freeze, and we're like, uh-oh, and then we become hyper aware of that situation. So that's that tone of voice, the escalated angry tone of voice, right? So what you have to do to calm somebody down is the opposite. And some people call it the night
the coast.
radio.
You're listening to
the coast, or the ASMR voice.
Yeah.
But you don't have to whisper. You just have to get as close to it as possible.
But don't you think if you do that, that'll sound condescending to some? No?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
You just be very calming and try to calm somebody down and talk as you normally would, but just in a very calm manner.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, there will be pushback at first.
Yeah.
I can't hear you, or speak louder, or why are you, there will be some pushback, but don't take the bait. Continue to hold your ground.
Yeah.
Talk very calmly. Right? Professionalism. Be friendly. Take their issue seriously. And if you do that, then you can focus on the solution. You can focus on the available options rather than what you can't do for them. Because a lot of people, what they do is they focus on what they can't do for them. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry, we can't, I'm so sorry, Mr. I can't do that, Mr. So-and-so, Mr. Customer, I can't do that for you. We have very strict rules around, and they focus on what they can't do, but they're not talking about what they can do for them. If you just focus on what you can do and what the options that are available, they're going to choose. Oftentimes, they're going to choose from one of those available options, and that's what you have to do. You also have to actively listen, be listening, and I don't mean just hearing. I mean listening, truly listening. And then one of the most powerful things that you can do is express empathy, whether it's your fault or not, or the business fault or not. To say, I'm really sorry to hear that.
At work, I work for this reverse mortgage company, and it's very, I guess, corporate, almost like Google, where they send you these classes and all that stuff. And one, they send you to a personality class, and one of my number one strength is empathy. Yeah, and
good for you.
Yeah, and everybody goes like, "Oh, you got empathy," because it's very rare. At my job for somebody to get empathy.
Right.
And this one guy says, "Are you a preacher?" I'm like, "No, I'm not a fucking preacher. I'm a writer. I sympathize with
you
the common folk." Yeah, I'm like, no. But
that's funny.
Yeah.
But you know what? Can I say that if you don't have that organically, it doesn't come out innately. What you can do, one of the tricks is, for me, I visualize my mom.
Yeah.
And I visualize
somebody talking to them that way, like
either that, or and I talk about that in the book. But one of the things I do is I visualize me talking to my mom. Like, what if my mom was calling me, and she didn't understand,
and she was just frustrated,
and she's old school,
right?
She's a old school Mexican traditional woman, and if she gets a bill, her eyes hone in on the most expensive, on the total charges, as opposed to the patient balance or whatever, what I mean. And so I have to visualize it. I'm speaking to my mom, and when I do that, I'm like, I love my mom, so obviously I'm going to help her. So I'm on her side. I'm not against her. I'm on her team, and we're going to work together towards resolving an issue.
That's a very good practice to do at customer service. You know what I mean? To visualize a family member that you love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And help them through.
Someone that you love. Yeah.
Oh, you're getting kind of teary-eyed.
No, not at all.
Like you're getting teary-eyed.
Really, no, not
passion,
at all.
That's passion.
That could be the wine.
Yeah.
Could be the wine. But no, not at all. But I do visualize my mom, and then another thing that you need to do is you need to, I think I said this already, but validate the person's frustration and anger and say, you know,
you got to see where they're coming
understand.
from. You know what I mean? The frustration, the
Right.
confusion. You know, the anger that they're not being heard. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's all
Right.
of that. It boggles me that people don't understand to sympathize with the other person. You know what I
Right.
mean? At least to show some kind of empathy towards them. It kind of boggles me. It's like when I hear people talk to each other, even at work, it's like what are you guys doing? You guys
Right.
you guys acting like enemies right now. You know, we're on the same boat. You know.
Exactly. You just have to put yourself in their shoes,
Yeah.
and I mean that's the whole meaning of empathy is putting yourself
And
in
people who do
their
that,
shoes.
I know that they succeed because nobody wants to work with a jerk, and people who could calm down the jerk, they go far. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
it's like this guy could pull out fires,
Right.
put out fires. You know?
Yeah, and that's a majority of my job is to
Yeah.
put out
The
fires.
fires, yeah.
And that's what I do. I just try to de-escalate
So
situations.
what is one customer that you could not put out the fire? He was just like on flames, and there's like no way that you could put it out. There's like, even though with your training, your positive attitude, there was no way getting through this person because he did not want to. He didn't want to feel happy. He didn't want to comply. He did not. I wouldn't say comply, but they just wanted to be difficult and give you a hard time. Did
Right.
you ever? At least, do you have one? I'm sure you have one. at
I
least. Yeah.
I do have one.
Yeah.
And it was someone that was extremely upset about having to pay. The bill was like $50,000. They had to pay a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was this like a medical
And-
bill?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay.
It was.
All right.
It was $50,000 around there, and they had to pay for it.
Yeah.
And this was after them getting all of the relative discounts.
Yeah.
They didn't have insurance. We couldn't bill an insurance company. They
Yeah.
didn't qualify for Medi-Cal, anything like that.
Yeah.
So they had to pay for it out of pocket, and
Wow.
their credit was meticulous.
Mhm.
Like
What
they
do you
were
mean?
so. I mean, they had a perfect credit score.
Uh huh.
And so, of course, they couldn't let this bill go to collections because then it would
Oh, it will fuck up their
adversely,
credit. Like, yeah.
affect their credit. So then, this customer
yeah.
was just like was not
Fuming.
having it,
Yeah.
fuming. He was hot, and I tried everything. Everything that's in my
wanted
wheelhouse.
to be put zero, right? He's like,
Yeah.
just send it to zero and I'll be happy,
Yeah.
right?
This customer was not going to be satisfied unless I wrote off his bill.
Yeah. And that was not
And
going to happen because
It wasn't justifiable.
Yeah.
It wasn't justifiable. You know, and I've given in my field of work, I've given discounts before, and if it's justifiable, if there was a mistake that was made, there was like a breakdown in communication, a
Yeah.
breakdown in service, I'm more than happy to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't write off a $50,000
fucking-
bill.
yeah.
It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of chunk.
It's a lot of money.
Did you try to meet even with him? It's like, oh, I'll take out 10,000 or
No,
or something like that. You know what I mean?
I focused on the options that he had available.
Uh-huh.
And I was willing to, do anything. I was willing to bend the rules. At the time, we had payment plans.
Mm.
At the time, we had financial assistance. He was able to.
But he
had
didn't wanna take
options,
any of
but
it.
he didn't want to take any of
Yeah.
them.
You didn't want to pay it.
He didn't want to pay it, and he didn't want to be bothered with having to submit supporting documentation that he can't afford
So,
the $50,000.
wouldn't you consider that entitlement at that point?
Well,
Like they're entitled to.
it's
like,
not.
no?
It's not so much. There, yes, that exists, but I think it's people that are just very proud and they just refuse to be helped.
Mm.
They're so used to being independent that
Yeah,
they refuse help from outside parties,
I see.
and I'm like that. So
Yeah.
I understand that.
It's
I
okay to get
understand
help.
that.
You know what I mean?
But it's okay. But at one point, when you truly need help,
Yeah.
whether it's because after I got in my car accident, I had to surrender to the fact that I needed help. And
What kind of help for your car accident? Like physical or financial?
Physical.
Okay.
Physical. At first it was physical, then it became financial.
Yeah.
But I needed help. I had contusions. But anyways, the customer just sometimes needs to accept that there's a hardship there. There's a financial hardship there, and they need help. And we could do something for you if you apply for financial assistance.
Mhm.
So there's a little bit of that going on, but there's also the entitlement part.
Yeah.
And so the customer didn't want to hear it, didn't want to hear me, didn't everything. I did everything.
Yeah.
Everything in my power, everything that I had in my wheelhouse, I did, and
weren't
it just
budging,
didn't
yeah.
work. It didn't work.
Unless it would have
And
said
that's-
0, right? It's like, here, it's clear.
Right.
And they would have been happy.
And you know what? That's going to happen.
Yeah.
You can't. When I wrote the book, I think I wrote that in there. I said, you're not going to please everybody.
Yeah.
You can't please
Yeah,
everybody.
it's absolutely impossible.
But if you can make your life easier and your work life easier,
Yeah.
by maybe you're not going to please 100% of the people, but maybe you can please 80% of the people, wouldn't you do that for yourself?
yeah. So you could at least, sleep well at night.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I worked at jobs where like I carry that stress at home, and I'm trying to enjoy my day. I'm trying to cook dinner. I'm thinking
Yeah.
about work. I'm watching TV. I'm thinking about
Right.
work. I'm taking a shit. I'm thinking about work. and it's I would rather get paid less to deal with that kind of stress than have that be my life. And that's a personal choice, and that works well for me. But
Right.
it's not for everybody. They like to get that money, that lot of money, and get that that heart, like I guess that getting punched emotionally every
Right.
day. That's not for me. Is that for you? Is that something for you?
Back in the day, they call it brooding and ruminating, and
Yeah.
I used to do that all the time. I used to go home thinking about work, thinking about the conversations that I had with
Yeah, you
irate
replay it,
callers,
yeah.
and I would replay it in my head. And I talk about it in my book. At first, those conversations would stop after I got out of my car, after I parked at home
Yeah. You
and
just
got
let
out
it
of my
go.
car, and I let it go. But then eventually they followed me
Of course.
into the home,
They
into my
manifest in other
bedroom,
ways.
and it
Yeah.
manifests in other ways. Exactly. If you don't, if
Stress eating, the
stress
stress
eating.
drinking.
And I'm a big stress eater.
Yeah, it
I'm
doesn't
a-
look like it. You look great.
Thank you. Thank you.
How often do you work out?
Yeah, it's like that movie. Are you eating less or just barfing more?
A little of both.
Yeah, I was just talking about that movie Hot Chick, but that's what I would do is
Uh-huh.
I would go home, think about it, and then after a while it became really, really depressing, and I became
Yeah.
stressed out about it, and then it started taking a toll on me because I started to, anytime I would hang out with friends or we would be at Rage
Yeah,
or at Mickey's.
you were not there. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
Yeah.
hey, you know what I mean? So I was like, what are you thinking about? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's like, oh, And
exactly.
you're trying to focus in the moment, but you always get thrown back into like, fuck, man,
Right,
that fucking bitch.
right.
Yeah.
And
there's no way.
If it was one day, that would be your reality. But
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, I was doing this for a couple of years before I left the financial institution. And every day, when you mess with people's money,
Mm. Oh,
people
yeah.
become
Monsters.
extremely
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah.
Extremely hot. Especially if this organization was charging non-sufficient funds
What
fees.
kind of was it? Well, you said a financial institution. What kind of like medical or like
bank.
mortgages? Bank.
A
Oh,
big
Bank. Bank.
I'm not going to say who it is.
Well, of course, we don't get sued. You know what I
No.
mean? We don't have lawyers.
Sue me.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Mm.
No, I'm not going to say who it is,
Yeah.
but it was a big bank,
Yeah.
and I worked for them, and they charged exorbitant amount of non-sufficient fund fees,
Mm.
sometimes like in the thousands, and they actually got sued at one
Oh,
point.
sounds like Wells Fargo, huh?
Yeah, right. And of course, I had to take that initial, from the patient or
Yeah.
from the customer, and I'm like, what
Yeah. What am I gonna do?
I'm just enforcing the policies. That's
don't-
all I'm doing.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Right, don't shoot
Yeah.
the messenger. And I felt like I had to record make a video on YouTube about that
Yeah.
because, oftentimes people call the 800 number and they scream and yell and they call over and over and over and over again because they can't get their way. Let's say they're asking for a discount, or let's say they want a free night at a hotel, or
Yeah.
whatever the situation is. They call over and over and they're just yelling at whoever picks up the phone. But if you really believe that you have been defrauded, there's an unjust situation. What I do personally is I Google the name of the company, executives that work for the company. I email them. Oftentimes you'll find email addresses.
Of course.
Yeah, and if that doesn't work out, you go to the Better Business Bureau and you lodge
file
a formal complaint.
Yeah.
And oftentimes that's going to get to the right people within the organization that's going to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And I talk about this in my book too, that any reputable company will do the right thing.
Yeah.
They're going to do the right thing. There's it's service recovery.
Yeah.
If you, for whatever reason, were unhappy with your hotel stay and they were doing construction or a bunch of things that wouldn't normally happen, and you complain to the hotel and they refuse to do something about it, and then you're like, you know what, I'm not going to deal with this, and then later on you go to the Better Business Bureau, it's going to eventually get to someone that's going to do something
to the very top of
bureaucracy. To the very top.
Yeah.
And you know what, sometimes it escalates to somebody, to an executive that didn't even know that policy
and it's their job existed. It's like, hey, what's going on here? And
exactly. They're like, what? Why aren't we doing something for this customer? And then that sparks up a conversation within the organization,
and that's well worth it. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
Because it not only betters the company. The hell with the company. It betters the customer service. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, the interaction that you have between two people. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's I want to talk about what was the inspiration. I know that you work in customer service for a long time, but was that moment where you said, I'm thinking about writing this book? Like how, where were you at? Like, were you sleeping, or were you eating something during lunch? It's like, you know what, I feel like I'm going to write a book and do this. And because when I started thinking about a project that I want to write, I just don't write it right away. I sit on it. I think about it. I listen to music I listen to music and think about it. And then a moment where it becomes too much, where I actually sit down and start, putting words into paper. You know what I mean? What was that moment where you're like, it was the inkling of that first, like, I gotta write this. You know what I mean? Do you remember that?
I don't.
You don't?
I will be honest. I don't remember the exact moment, but I remember when I was working at the financial institution many, many, many moons ago, and thinking, I have to do something about this. I have to do something, because my life at the time, like I was telling you, I would go home, I was brooding, I was ruminating, and it was affecting me, and then it eventually led to stress, it eventually led to depression. I had to go see my PCP about it. I was prescribed antidepressants. I mean, it got real. Things got real. And then I remember I started going, I'm like, you know what, I have to change my perspective, or I have to change my profession. And I started going to the Norwalk Library, the Norwalk Public Library, right there by City Hall. That was my second home. I would go there and I would read psychology books. At first, it wasn't psychology books. At first, it was customer service books. And I'm like, well, I would read them. I'd pick up some pointers, but I'm like, I'm already doing most of this. Yeah. But it was the psychology books that really helped me out. And I'm like, oh, that's why they're mad. Oh, it's like it goes to a deeper level. Once you have an understanding of why somebody gets upset in the first place, you have more compassion for them. You have more empathy for them.
You could wrangle them better, I guess. You know what I mean?
And, or hacks, if you want to call them.
Yeah, life hacks.
Life hacks. And so I remember thinking that, you know what? Someone out there is in my position where they're going to the library, or they're going on Amazon, and they're looking
doing
for
this
a
research
book that's going to help them out, not just for customer service and how to navigate through challenging phone calls, but how to safeguard your mental health, because ultimately it's about your mental health. I was
and this book
going
is
crazy
about mental health for the customer, for the guy who's dealing with the irate caller.
At the core of the book, it's about mental health. Absolutely. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to write the book for the 18-year-old, the 17-year-old that was looking for this book. And I wanted to write it back in 2008, 2009, 2010, and I kind of
years pissed by.
Yeah, I thought about it. I'm like, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. But
it
life
sounds
got
like
in the
you're a
way.
real writer.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm thinking about writing a book.
Such a real writer. And then I was like, you know what? And then in 2019, out of nowhere, I got this during like a meditation session. I was just, one of the things that I like to do is I like to sit in stillness.
Yeah.
And just clear my mind.
Yeah, man. I've been
And
doing
that's where
that
it
lately
came.
too, man. Like,
That's good.
like I go to work and then like my work is, it's not hectic. There's no phones ringing like off the top and it's nothing. It's again, it's tolerable. But I come home and I just sit down in my couch and just relax for
Right.
at least like 30 minutes,
Right.
maybe 40 minutes, just to be with myself. You know what I mean? Not to be obliged or like not obliged, but obligated to help my boss and do all these other things that I need to do because I'm
Right.
getting paid. Is I'm just taking this time to reflect on myself, just to chill out for a little bit before I start making dinner. You
Right.
know what I mean? And I think it's just that's something that as you get older, it's what you learn what to do to keep your sanity.
Are you the one that makes dinner?
Yeah, most of the time.
Really?
Yeah, most of the time. John and Alex, they make dinner from time to time, but
Okay.
it's mostly me that I look up at the recipes online and stuff like that. And this is going to be our first time to make a Thanksgiving turkey.
Okay.
Only because John and me and Alex we were Seder brothers yesterday, and John and me were fucking stoned as hell. And we're like, yeah, we should make a turkey, man. Like, yeah, let's do it. And we got the turkey. And
Did
then,
you
like,
buy a turkey?
We bought a turkey. We
Oh
bought the
my
whole thing. It's
God.
like, we don't have a turkey baster, man. So we got that. And yeah, and so I watched this video from Chef Ramsay, how he's seasoning the turkey and all that. It's like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to season it the way he did it. So I guess what I'm saying is 90% of the time, 80% of the time, I'm the guy who's making dinner.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Do you enjoy doing that?
It depends. If it's like fucking in the middle of the summer, I don't fucking enjoy it. I rather get just like some cold cuts and make sandwiches.
Right.
But around this type of weather, I do. You know what I mean? Because it's not too warm. It makes the house warm. You know what I mean? It makes it smell yummy if you're doing it right. You know?
Exactly.
I enjoy it, and especially if they like it, it's another satisfaction that I get.
Yeah, it
Oh,
feels
it's
good.
It does feel good.
Yeah.
It feels yummy. Yeah.
Feels yummy.
Yeah. Are you the guy who cooks at home most
No.
of the time? No.
Absolutely not.
Oh no. Are you
Robert
the guy?
cooks.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
he's the culinary master.
Oh, yeah.
Or, yeah.
He's and I try to empower him to go and do something food related because he's extremely he knows about seasonings and he knows about taste
Yeah.
and spices, and he can make something very basic like lentils, right? Or enchiladas or tacos.
You make it taste bomb, all right?
And he elevates the flavor.
Yeah.
Like he takes it to a whole other level where I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Even my mom, who's like
It's
in her
delicious,
70s,
yeah,
who
yeah.
has
It's
had
just-
Mexican food her whole
Yeah.
life, she's like, who made this? I'm like, Robert. Oh yeah,
That was good.
it's so good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like
cool.
he made fideo soup.
Yeah.
I mean, he makes everything. He makes a really good pozole.
Oh really?
He makes really good pozole, and I normally have it with just the hominy.
Yeah.
I
I was
don't
gonna
eat
say
meat.
that because pozole is not vegan.
No,
like
no,
there
no.
is vegan pozole, but
Yeah.
that's not. I don't think it's
Yeah.
pozole.
I'm mostly vegan, I guess, but I do have my moments where I have cheese,
Yeah.
and I do allow myself to.
I think that's
consume
fine. You know, like. But when he makes the pozole, is it like? Does he make with pork, chicken?
Chicken.
Or chicken. Oh,
chicken.
Okay.
He used to make it with pork, and then now he makes it with chicken.
Okay.
It's just cleaner.
Yeah, and it's different. Like I had the first time I had a chicken pozole was a very long time ago with my ex. His mom made it all the time. She made a green pozole, chicken pozole, and it was
Oh,
different.
I love green
Yeah.
pozole.
And that was the first time I had it. I'm like, they make green pozole with chicken? Oh my, because my mom, she makes it with pork, and it's red and it's spicy, and all. So it was a trip. That was the last time I had chicken pozole. Was 11 years ago, 12 years ago.
Oh my
something
God,
like
that was a long time
A
ago.
long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you been with?
Oh, with Jonathan?
Yeah.
Jonathan. Yeah.
Jonathan.
Yeah. In January it's gonna be 12 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And I think you and Robert and me, we've been kind of like kind of dating at the same time, don't you think? Because you started dating him like around 2008 or 2009.
2009.
Yeah, and that's the same time I met.
2009.
That's the same time I met Jonathan.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
2009.
Yeah.
Uh,
we were friends.
Yeah.
For a year,
Mhm.
and then we made it official, and then so from our official date, we've been together now for 10 years.
That's cool.
And
it's a milestone. Like.
Oh yeah, especially in our community,
exactly.
It's a milestone.
Cause like it's what's that saying? Like if you're gay and you've been together for 3 months, that's a year in gay time.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And for us, it's like 10, 12 years is like 60 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
In gay time, it's like 100 years.
Yeah, I know. Like, just shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I know there's some that you wanted me to ask. Has nothing to do with this book, but I know he wanted to ask me questions about my relationship because I'm in a polyamorous relationship with 2 other guys.
Yes.
And I know you asked me before the show that Josh wanted to ask me about my relationship with John and Alex.
I was just really intrigued and really curious about the dynamics and the number one, communication.
Yeah.
How does that work?
I was like, what do you mean? Like who does the laundry?
No. Just communication. So, I've been in a relationship for 10 years now, and we have to up our communication, right? Just me and another person.
How do you feel? Or like
how do you communicate? Like, how do you communicate issues and whenever something's bothering somebody, or let's say somebody has like a sense of, jealousy, or how do you deal with that? Are you really good at communicating?
I'm pretty good. I mean, personally, I'm pretty good with communicating. But to say that there's no jealousy is like, that's me being a fucking liar. Because like in the beginning there was jealousy, you know what I mean? Because either one's giving more affection to the other one,
right? Or
one's cuddling the other person more than the other one,
right?
But we talk about it. It's turbulent like in the beginning, but now we're kind of like we find a good, I guess, rhythm to it. I don't. It doesn't bother me that if John and Alex are being affectionate with each other and I'm writing, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
It's all about communication. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you're not communicating, then it's gonna derail.
Yeah.
And there's moments where like it was very hard, but in the end, we start talking to each other, and it seemed we're all on the same boat, like in the same, like, I guess, mindset that we all wanted to be together,
right?
Because there's before I started working in this company that we're working in right now, I was working for this other company where they sent me to Bakersfield for like a training, and they missed me when I was gone. Like you miss that personality. And then this year John had to go to San Francisco. Unfortunately, like he lost his grandma this year.
Oh.
Yeah, it was terrible. She died in it was a hit and run accident, and he had to go over there in San Francisco to go to the funeral, and it's because of COVID. It was a very small affair going over there, but when John went over there to be with his family, it was just John and Alex for like 2 or 3 days, and it was we missed his personality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there was a precedent.
It was you and Alex at home?
Yeah, it was just me and Alex at home, and John was,
John went by himself.
Yeah, by himself. And we missed his personality. It was like, I was telling Alex, like, wow, we really need John because we're missing his commentary, his just personality, the way he does things, the way he talks to us. It was like a vacant chair, like that seat, you know what I mean? It was just, he missed him. I missed him.
Right.
And when he came back, we all connected back together, and it's, so it's different. I never thought in my life that I'll be in a relationship with two guys.
Right.
And it's very, when we first came out with our parents again, you come out with because you're gay, and then you come out again because you have another boyfriend. You know what I mean? It's,
right.
We brought Alex to our separate families. Like, oh, this is our boyfriend. And they were like, what? What's going on? What? And it was a bit of adjustment with each of our family.
Right.
But they're all cool. It was like Alex comes with us everywhere we go, you know, and but with Alex's family, like he's still coming out of the closet, as in like his dad doesn't know completely that he's gay, or like at least that he's dating 2 other guys.
He doesn't
but
I hope he doesn't watch Casually
Oh,
Christian.
he doesn't. I don't know. He doesn't. No. But maybe his
like,
sisters,
you're in trouble.
His sisters, they do watch the show.
Okay.
Watch the show. And the same, the mom, his mom knows that we're in the throuple.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
So it's just like, it's a very different dynamic. It's a very Modern Family type of thing. You know
I'd
what I mean?
say.
And-
Now, did it happen organically, would you say?
Well, I guess I'm gonna be real. John and me, like I guess we mess around with it. We like threesomes. I'm talking about threesomes and stuff like that. And he just came along, and we just hung around with each other more and more.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't something that I planned, or like where John and me planned. Actually, it's Alex who said that after we went out with him, went to the movies or whatever. He said, I want to tell you guys something. Like, I want to be with both of you guys. I know what you guys think, that I'm too young and, we shouldn't be with each other. But I know what I want, and I want both of you guys. And then, he left, and then John and me started talking about it. And then it's like, well, I mean, what do you think? And we started talking about it. And then we just came to the conclusion, well, let's just try it out, because it's not hurting anybody.
Right,
You know what I mean? I mean, we're all consenting. So
Right.
So we just tried it out, and we've been together for 4 years now. So there we go.
Congrats.
Yeah, I mean, thanks. It's very odd.
Honestly, I mean, you guys, when you guys came over my house
Yeah.
the other day, you guys all look happy. And
Thanks.
that's, at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and I have a friend who I went to high school with. His name is Nando. I hope he's watching, but this is way before that I met Alex. He was working for this.
Do I know him?
I don't. Nando, he's like Asian. No, I don't think.
No,
because he's a skater. Like he's all into like the Dodgers, and I don't think you know him because he's in my class.
Okay.
I know him very well. I grew up with him since elementary school.
Yeah.
But anyways, he was telling me that he was working with this professor, and he had 2 boyfriends, and he would always come to work complaining about his 2 boyfriends, and he was French, and he said, like, you Americans so uptight with your relationships, and that was the first time I ever heard somebody be with 2 other guys.
Yeah.
And then here I am, like, I think maybe 6-7 years later from the time I heard that story.
Yeah.
Thinking about Nando's story. So yeah.
It's unconventional, but the thing is that I'm very happy for you, and I'm glad that you are open about it, because I mean, at first I didn't know, and
I didn't know that existed.
And it's not that it's not none of my business. I mean, it's not like I have to know.
Yeah. But people are interested. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
And then that's become, like, I think, I'm not going to say common, but more, I guess, normalized in the gay community.
Yeah.
That there's more thruples, and that's great. If you can get away with having 2 personalities.
Yeah, I know. One's enough, but having another one. But because when I got into this relationship, I was doing research, and it turns out, like, around the world, it's not that much, but around the world, it's like 1.2 million people are in a throuple.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But, around the world, it's like, what, 3 billion people? So it's like less than 1%.
Yeah.
So, but
I think it's like 7 billion now.
But still, like, I mean, you have to think, like, a million people is still a lot of fucking people.
Oh, it's a lot of people.
Yeah, it's a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I mean, it's just very interesting to read these stories that, But anyway.
It's interesting. It's just really interesting, and I just wanted to know the dynamics. And you could tell me it's none of your business.
Nah, man, like, I know people are interested about it, and because it's not common. I mean, the only thing people know about is the Tiger King. You ever watch the Tiger King with his two boyfriends and shit?
God, I started watching the Tiger King, and I'm like, I was probably 4 episodes in or 5 episodes in, and I'm like, what's the premise of the show?
It's trash TV.
I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, like for Halloween, I was pitching like, let's go as a Tiger King.
Yeah.
Let's go like John could be the Tiger King. We would be like to do board games and shit. But Alex, he doesn't like dressing up for Halloween.
No.
So. No. Do you remember when he came to your party?
He wasn't dressed up.
He was dressed up.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, he was
Okay.
an FBI agent.
That's right. That's right.
However, that was like, we had to like tell him like, you gotta pick, because he doesn't like to dress up.
Oh.
And that was like the most he would dress up. Like, that's it. Just putting on the vest that says FBI.
FBI.
That's his costume. But
What was Jonathan?
he was like a shadow person. Like, he was wearing like the shadow
Oh, that's
thing.
right. He was
Yeah.
a shadow.
And what was that? Oh, it was Jesus. I
And
was
you were
Jesus
Jesus.
Christ.
You were Jesus.
I was Jesus with a haircut.
Right.
Yeah.
With the haircut.
Yeah, I was drinking wine and turning it into water. So yeah, there you go. There you go.
Could you do that with my pool?
Yeah, you need a lot of bleach, I think.
Oh, okay. I was I was talking to my mom. I went to have breakfast with her recently, and I picked her up, and we went to Norm's, and we were just like talking about, everything. And I told her I was gonna be on your podcast. She's like, "Oh, who's Christian?" I'm like, "Oh, he was there at the
Yeah.
Halloween party." She's
Yeah,
like,
she remembered me.
"Not Jesus."
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yep.
"It's Jesus."
Yeah, yeah, because she saw me. She saw me like go into the living room, and she like gave me like, I wouldn't say a dirty look, but she regarded me for sure. You know what I mean? It's like, this guy, fucking sacrilegious motherfucker.
No, you know what? No, she's not like that at all.
My dad. I don't know if you read this Facebook that I posted where like my dad asked me what I was gonna dress for Halloween.
No.
And I told him I was gonna be Jesus Christ, and he got all quiet.
What?
Yeah, he's all like, you shouldn't mess around like that, Christian. Like, in Spanish.
Yeah.
It's like, but because our parents they're Latin, they're Mexican.
Yeah.
Like, well, I guess it doesn't matter if you grow up in a conservative Christian
Yeah.
household, they're not gonna take that lightly.
Te vas a
But,
ir al demonio.
Yeah. What? Oh, yeah. ¿Ya ves? ¿Qué pasó?
¿Ya ves?
¿Ya ves?
¿Ya ves?
¿Te castigó? Yeah. That's what. But my dad was very like serious about it. It's like, you shouldn't mess around like that, Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I saw your mother give me like these eyes, like, what is this guy doing? But I wasn't like
Yeah.
snatched or anything. I came in decent.
No, you.
You know what I mean?
No, you were
I
all
was
decent,
good, yeah.
and
Yeah,
you were
I was
all
fine
good.
compared to the other nights that I've been howling at the moon.
Shoot. No, the only time my mom ever made a comment about something religious was when we were watching. I was still living in Norwalk at the time, and we were watching a music video from Gwen called
Mhm.
Luxurious.
Yeah.
And she's wearing a shirt of the Virgin Mary, and it's cut, and it's like kind of cut like in half.
Yeah.
And she's like, porque le hizo eso
Yeah.
a la Virgen? And
Yeah.
she was like, what?
She was
Like,
all
she was
surprised
just
by
like
it, yeah.
surprised. She was so taken aback. And I'm like, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, she looks good.
Yeah.
There's,
And she
you
was,
see
she
the
was not
candy?
having it, right?
Yeah, she wasn't having it. Yeah, she wasn't having it, but I just remember that's the only time she ever mentioned or criticized anything like religious related.
My mom, like back in the 90s, my family was more conservative, like back in the day. And remember Matt TV? Matt
Oh,
TV?
yes.
So there was this old school episode of Matt TV where it was like a claymation skit where it was remember Alien, like Ridley, like that Sigourney Weaver fighting the Queen.
Yes, yes.
Well, the skit was her being Jesus Christ, and she was blowing away all these fucking people. Like, she was. It was sacrilegious, and my mom got so fucking offended. She's like, "I'm gonna write a letter to Fox.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna write those." And then, like, she was so pissed off about the episode. Like, when my aunt visited, I would say not even in that week, like maybe 3 weeks later, it's like, "You wouldn't believe I saw this episode at Matt TV. They depicted Jesus Christ as blasting all these people."
Oh
and
my god.
yeah, it was pretty. It was funny,
I miss Matt TV.
Yeah,
it
me
was
too,
funny.
man. Yeah, man.
It was really funny.
good. Like, that's even
I
if they
love Nicole Sullivan.
Oh,
and Ari
yeah.
Spears
Yeah.
and Michael McDonald. I loved all of them.
Yeah.
And I remember I went to a taping. Ugh, God, another. I was as you can imagine, huge No Doubt fanatic, and so I went, and it was on my birthday, and I went, and I was thinking that I was gonna go for a taping, but it wasn't. It was like during the week. I ended up just seeing the performance, but they
Oh.
didn't actually have any
the
of the
live skit?
skits.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
So I was like, oh, that what a bummer. I was like looking forward to it, and I remember all the entire cast, everybody was coming in, and they were like, I was standing in line. I was there like from like
So it was
5
like
in the
a
morning.
dress rehearsal or type of thing.
It was like a dress rehearsal, but with no doubt actually doing their like filming their
I see.
performance.
Okay.
And I remember all the Nicole Sullivan and Ari
Yeah.
Spears and all of them, and
What an age,
they were
man.
all driving in,
Yeah.
and I'm like, and everybody was like super nice,
Yeah.
like stopping, and everybody was like, oh, can I have? This was pre social media and
Yeah, of
pre
course.
smartphone, so
Yeah.
everybody was like with their Kodak cameras.
the
Can I take
disposable
a
cameras
picture?
and
Yeah,
shit,
the
yeah.
disposable ones that
Yeah.
you didn't even know what the picture looked
Yeah.
like until 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
So it was fun times.
Here's a cute story with my niece. She was going to remember science camp. Like,
Yeah.
did you ever go to science camp?
No.
Well, in science camp, they ask you to bring a disposable camera to take
Mhm.
photos. And my niece, she's 18 now, but like at the time she was young. And so she bought a disposable camera, which was showing her how to use it. And she's all like, "Where can I look at the pictures?" And she was talking about the LCD screen. And then at that moment, I felt my hair grow gray.
Oh,
yeah. Oh my.
no.
Oh shit. Like, and they were like, "No, you have to send it somewhere to get developed." And she couldn't like, "What? I can't see it right away." You know what I mean? Because she grew up with the iPhones,
With
the
the iPhone.
iPads, and all that stuff. You can see it right away.
You're like, you have to go to Save-Ons
yeah,
and
yeah,
drop
it's
it
like,
off.
yeah. It's like, huh? Yeah. Long story short, she never sent the thing developed.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I don't know where it is now, but yeah,
There's
man.
been such a shift with pictures because even when we had smartphones, when I first got my smartphone, I started taking pictures. I'm like, oh, I'm going to develop them.
Mhm.
One day I'm going to develop them. And then after a while, I'm just like, I'm just going to put them in virtual albums
Yeah,
and
and
look
then
at
like
them.
you log into it, and then it's there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Yeah,
exactly.
It works out.
Exactly.
So what do you hope people could take from this book, Mastering the Irate Caller?
I really hope that,
besides, mastering the Irate Caller.
Right.
Yeah.
I think what I hope is that people walk away with the idea that your mental health is just as important as your physical health.
Yeah.
And you have to take care of it. You have to do everything that you can to safeguard your mental health and meditate and do everything that you need to do to make sure that you are circumventing any emotional landmines. And I think one of the biggest things is, like I said, not taking anything personally.
Yeah.
And that's really, it says easy does hard, but
Yeah.
it's doable. And over time, one of the things is I laughed the first time I got the book
Mhm.
because I didn't realize it was this short.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh my god, this
Well,
is
how
like
long
a
did it take you to
pamphlet.
write it?
6 months.
6 months.
6 months.
Yeah, that's good. It doesn't. Don't worry about it, man. Like,
Yeah.
as long as it delivers what you wanted it, then you're fucking golden, dude.
Yeah,
You know?
I said everything that I needed to say.
Yeah.
And when I got the book, I'm like, oh wow, like this is
Yeah.
super small and short, but that was the intention of the book. I wanted to
You know
get
why?
my point across.
Because a thick book, it I wouldn't say discourages people, but it turns people off. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like,
Yeah.
it's going to take me a long time to finish.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
Exactly. And if
Yeah.
something like this short and it's like, oh, okay, they'll pick it up and they'll
Yeah.
buy it and
Right.
they'll read it. You know what I mean?
Right. And it's meant for you to read it over and over and over again
Yeah.
because
It's a playbook.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's mainly meat.
Yeah.
I didn't want to put a lot of filler. I had to put obviously build up so
Of
that you
course.
know
Yeah,
you
it has,
understand
like,
the
it has-
context.
He's talking about Norwalk and No
Yeah.
Doubt and like things about your personality and
Right.
stuff. You know what I mean? And you add like, of course, the subject at hand.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
But I didn't want it to be like an infomercial where it goes
Yeah.
goes in circles talking about the same thing over and over and over. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I'm going to give you all meat. So when you read the book, there's a lot that you're going to retain, a lot that you're not going to retain.
Yeah.
So the idea is for you, it's intentionally short so that you can go back to it, you can revisit
You're
it
smart, man.
once a month, twice, however much you need to, and you can revisit it and highlight whatever tips are going to work for you, because everybody, at the end of the day, everybody has a trigger. Like if you're in the customer service field, everybody has a trigger. And let's say your trigger is when a customer says, "Let me speak to your manager."
Yeah.
Or a trigger is when somebody insults you personally.
Yeah.
Everybody has a trigger, and I think if you can identify what your trigger is, you can work towards eliminating it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's mastering yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to master your emotions before you can master the irate caller.
Be one with the Force, dude. Being a Jedi, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you like Star Wars?
You know
no.
what?
You're all like, you move the glasses, like, oh no.
I'm like,
subject.
I am a Star Wars fan. I am very late though. I watched Star Wars for the first time in about 2010, and I watched them in order.
That's cool, man.
So I saw the 3 movies.
Yeah, the new ones, and then the ones that came from the 70s, right? And then the recent ones. Yeah.
And that kind of messed me up because I was so used to the technology, the modern technology, and the visuals of the new ones, and then to go back to the ones from the 70s, I'm like, oh, it was like an adjustment, right?
Yeah.
But nonetheless, amazing. I love the series, but I can't say that I'm like a diehard fanatic.
I mean, I love watching. I mean, personally, I like Star Wars better than Harry Potter. I don't know if you're like Harry Potter more.
I
than
love
Star
Harry
Wars.
Potter.
Like I don't know, like I'm more into Star Wars than Harry Potter personally. So
Okay,
I'm
all
that
right.
personality, but
What about Star Trek?
I like Star Trek. See, like the first the reboot of Star Trek was really good. I didn't like the second one, but the third one, the recent one, that was really good. Like I don't know what it's called, but I didn't like the
New Generation?
No, I'm talking about the movies.
Oh.
The movies directed by J.J. Abrams, one with
yes.
with the Zachary Quinto.
Yes.
That the first one, it was great, man. It was fantastic. I didn't like the second one, but the third one was great. And the series, I love the series. Like the only reason I got into it is because my friend Thomas, Tommy.
Tommy.
He got me into it when he lived with me back in the Norwalk house. We started watching Star Trek together because he was my roommate.
Yeah.
So we started with Next Generation, and we started going to Voyager, and then what else? Deep Space Nine. So I'm very well versed in their, those characters.
Right.
And they're fun. I love it.
How is Tommy doing?
Oh, he's doing pretty good, man. Like he's just chilling at home.
He got married, didn't he?
He did get married. He's been married for 5 years, I think.
Okay.
I think the last time I saw him was for Halloween. Came down just to chill for a
This
little
year?
bit. Yeah, this past Halloween.
Okay.
And I haven't seen him since.
Okay.
But he's doing good. Yeah, not too bad. I think actually he's gonna be in our Halloween special. We're gonna have a Halloween special. We're just gonna wrap up the year, talk about positive things of 2020 if there are any.
Another Halloween special?
No, I'm sorry. I said Halloween, huh? I meant Christmas.
Oh,
special.
Christmas.
Yeah, I fucked up. I'm a little tipsy. It's cool.
Or like a hybrid, kind of like that Tim Burton movie.
Yeah, A Nightmare Before Christmas.
A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, there you go, man. Yeah. But
I like that. Well, last time I saw Tommy was in 2012. It was at your.
Yeah.
It was in Norwalk. It was at your place.
Yeah.
At your old place, and we were having like a goodbye, farewell for Eric. And
Yeah, man, that was a long time ago.
Dude, that was a long time ago. Yeah. I'm just like
When he moved to Texas.
when he moved to Texas. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, and then I got to see a bunch of people from Norwalk High School, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
That was like the last party we all got together.
Yeah.
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 That's sad. I think we should have more parties like that.
Yeah.
Well,
you know
because
what?
of the climate right now, because of COVID.
Well, because once
once it's over.
Once it's over.
Yeah, we'll have some big party.
I don't know if you're on Facebook.
I'm on Facebook all the time.
Okay, are you on the Norwalk?
Oh yeah, the homepage and stuff like that.
Yeah,
The
reunion page.
reunion thing. Yeah,
Are you on that?
I believe so.
Okay, because I get tagged. I get notifications anytime anybody posts anything.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the reunion. It's gonna be 20-year reunion.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? I just want to. I want to go just to say I invented Post-its.
What do you mean? Like Post-its? Like the
I'm
app?
just kidding.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, just
It's
the
a Romeo and Michelle
oh.
reference. Yeah.
Ah, damn it. I like that movie too, man.
It's so good. That's like a classic.
It is a classic. You know, my mom was like so baffled when I told her that I was gay. It's like, Mom, we went to see The Birdcage together. We saw Romeo and Michelle. We saw In and Out. And like, you're surprised that I'm gay?
I like
Walter
Mercado.
Yeah. I was like, come on, Mom, we're missing Birdcage. Come on, let's go. But yeah, that's my mom. Okay, so are you working on volume 2 right now? Mastering the Irate Caller?
I'm not.
No?
I'm purposely not, because what I wanted to do was, my intention was to write a series.
Mhm.
And this is volume 1.
Yes.
And I didn't realize the amount of time and effort that it takes to write a book.
Yeah.
And if I do write a second volume, it's because somebody's paying me to write it.
I think you should still write it, man.
You think so?
Yeah, I think you should still do it, dude. Cause, okay, this is something I wanted to tell you about, and I just remembered. Before COVID, there was this convention in Los Angeles
Mhm.
where it's like independent writers. You get to talk to different publishers, and you get to pitch your project and all that stuff. And I think your book has a very good, like you could pitch it well. You know what I mean? Because it's something that everybody does, like as in like working with customers.
Especially now.
Yeah,
during
especially
COVID.
now. And you want to do like a series, I think
Mhm.
you'll be picked up right away. You just need to go to that seminar.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, like if I see that post again, because the whole situation with COVID, it stopped. It was supposed
Right.
to, it's supposed to happen every April of every April. Let's see what happens next year if they have like a Zoom or something. I'll send you the link. But
Okay.
when you were doing when I found out you were doing your book and I was going to talk to you, I wanted to talk to you about this opportunity. I think if you pitch them this book and you show them your statistics of like how many books you sell and blah blah blah, because you're not only pitching yourself, it's a business. You know what I mean?
Right,
You
right,
know, think of it as a restaurant or something. Like how much sales are you making? What is the cost of making this book and blah blah blah. And it's
Right.
really cool that it's short, because the more pages you have, the more it costs to print.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I think this is
That's
a
true.
very lean and healthy product to pitch.
Mhm.
So the next time I see that post, I'll forward you the link.
Okay.
And I
Yeah,
wish you the
that would
best,
be
man.
great.
But regardless, I think you should still write.
Okay.
Write for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you get the opportunity to get paid to do it, yeah, fuck it, man.
Yeah, you know what? That was my plan to write, because you have to have some leverage.
Yeah.
You can't just come out of the woodworks
Of
and
course.
be a nobody.
I want to write this book,
and I'm
Like,
going to
here's
write a
$1
book,
million. Yeah.
and I want a publishing house to
Yeah.
publish my book. You have to have leverage, and that's what I wanted to do with this book. I wanted to write it. I wanted it to stand up on its own 2 feet
Yeah.
and be good in sales,
Yeah.
and for me to have a following on a presence in social media, because I didn't before. I had like less than 100 followers,
Yeah.
and because I didn't care about followers, I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't.
Well, now you do.
Who
Yeah.
cares?
See, yeah.
Well, now
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
care about that, and now I treat it as a business,
Mhm.
and now I look at all the hacks to how to get more followers
Yeah.
and how to reach more people with my book, and I started doing a lot of promo in the Philippines, because the Philippines has become like the
Yes.
epicenter of call centers.
Like India.
And
Yeah,
India.
yeah.
India used to be number one. Now it's the Philippines, and it's not just like they're not just speaking Filipino. I mean, they're
yeah.
speaking English.
Yeah.
Like a lot of American companies are outsourcing to
Yes.
the Philippines,
Yeah.
including my old company.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, this will greatly benefit them. And every time I call an 800 number, and I call, like, let's say B of A, or I call like one of
Yeah.
a company,
Yeah.
whatever, that I have to pay a bill, they do small talk with you. They try to make a personal connection, and how's your day going? I'm like, good,
Yeah.
and then they say, it's just been a rough day for me. I've had, a lot of angry lot of angry
Yes.
customers yell at me. I'm like, oh really? I just wrote a book about
it just so
mastering
happens.
the
Yeah.
irate caller.
Yeah.
It's on Amazon,
Yeah.
and I promote it that way. They're like, oh my god, that's exactly what I need. But that's the world we live in now.
Yeah.
It's everybody's working from home, and most people are working from home, and it's just going to shift the whole business world
Yeah.
altogether, and then things will never be the same after this.
It's not going to be the same. And not only the business world, man, like entertainment, like motion
entertainment.
pictures.
Yeah.
Like the movie theaters, they're like at the cusp of not existing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tragic because that's where everybody watched. That's where pop culture began, in the movie theater. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Star Wars, Harry Potter, Back to the Future, and stuff
Right.
like that. You know what I mean? But the technology to watch a movie at home, it's just it's fucked up for me to say, like a filmmaker. But I like watching movies at home now with a flat screen TV. I got my sound system. I could pause a movie whenever I want.
Right.
You know what I mean? I need to get my popcorn. It's just good. It's great, and the quality of the picture is phenomenal.
Right.
Today I was watching 2001: A Space Odyssey, and it was in 4K. And I was watching it. It was just marvelous.
Yeah.
Because I watched one of the dates I had with John. We watched that movie at the Egyptian Theater on the 70mm cut, and you can see the grain, like the screen, like the wiggly marks on the film and all that stuff. And it was great. Watching it in 70mm is fantastic. But like I was watching it again today, and it was just like flawless. It was beautiful.
High def.
And it's very high def. And the movies, I don't know. They just need to. I don't know. I think
they need to step up their HD game
Yeah.
is what they need to do. And I mean, a lot of them did that.
Yeah.
Like when last time I went to the Norwalk AMC 20,
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my god, it's
Yeah.
like high definition.
Yeah, and they have their recliner seats now, so you could be more like at home and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
and then you can order food from
Yeah.
your seat,
Yeah,
which is
and then,
amazing.
I don't know, man. I think maybe it's gonna. I think theater is gonna die. I think so.
You think so?
I think so, because people are just getting the same experience watching it at home, and people.
I don't
like. It's really messed up for me to say, coming from a background,
Right.
But just watching everybody else the way they watch entertainment, it's not art anymore. It's just entertainment. You just
Right.
watch a movie, and then you're done with it, and you don't watch it ever again.
Right.
You know what I mean? You just move on to the next. You're consuming entertainment instead of appreciating the artwork.
Right.
You know? But
But I mean, nowadays, everything is sort of disposable. Even music. It's
Yeah.
like you listen to it, you can listen to it
you
a couple
consume
times,
it,
and you're
then
just like,
it's done.
it's
what's the new
done.
one.
You can move. Okay, what's
Yeah.
next? And back in the day, like in the 90s, early 2000s, you had music, entertainment that stays with you, that you can revisit over and over and over again. I mean, there's movies that I watch every single year, multiple times.
Yeah, I
in
think
a
that's
year.
something that's different with, like, the generation that's prior to what the generation that's going on right now with the
Yeah.
tablets and social media. Because
Yeah.
like back in the day, you just had VHS tapes,
Right.
So you just watched the same tape over and over and over again. Because there was no internet, there was no nothing. There was nothing going on. You just
Yep.
watched the Ninja Turtles for like the billionth time.
Yep.
Back to the Future, like again and again. You know.
Yep.
And those fucking It's just I don't know. I hope they pull out, because what I said before is the first thing I'm going to do when COVID is over is go to the movie theater.
Go to the movies, yeah.
And then to the bar.
And to the bar.
Yeah, to
and
the
now
bar, yeah.
every single AMC or
Oh, it has a bar.
United,
Yeah, 'cause
they all have
they
all have a bar.
And it's crazy because like the UK for a long time they had like a bar in their theaters, and they didn't have a bar in theaters in the United States because they felt like the Americans would get too belligerent.
Oh,
But now they added the bars to the theaters because they had to compete with the competitors.
Oh, yeah.
Which is staying at home and watching TV.
Exactly.
And drinking your beer. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So they had it.
you know, I'll be honest. I go to the movie theater because of the experience.
Yeah.
I love smelling the popcorn.
Me too, man. Everything. Like
Yeah.
seeing like the lights like going through the hallway and smelling that popcorn in the
Yeah.
hallway and sitting down and
Yeah.
picking out your seat. But like even now, like you don't even pick out your seat anymore. You do, but you pick it out online and this is where you're gonna sit. Where
Mhm.
before
It's reserved now.
yeah, it's reserved now, but before it was like no holds barred. Like you had to be there like 3 hours ahead.
Right.
you had to like fight through the crowds
Yep.
and sit where you needed to sit, and that was it.
Yep.
And I don't know, I miss that feeling where like you had to get there before everybody else, and took pride that you were like the third person in line. You know what I mean? Instead of like you're you're all the way around the corner.
Yep.
And
that's
you're
true.
gonna get shit seats, man.
Yeah.
But those people should feel bad.
Shoot.
Because they procrastinate.
I miss going to the movie theaters.
Yeah.
I love popcorn.
Yeah.
Like, and you cannot beat movie theater popcorn. You
Yeah.
just can't.
Yeah.
And even at home, like
doesn't taste the
I
same.
always have popcorn at
Yeah.
home. And late at night when I'm watching, when I'm trying to decompress before going to bed, I'll watch whatever, The Golden Girls, or I'll watch,
Yeah.
I have my go-to shows to, kind of lull
Yeah,
me to
of
sleep.
course.
And then I always put a bag of popcorn in the microwave,
Yeah.
and it never tastes like movie theater
Oh,
popcorn.
no. Have
you
you
will never
Have you
duplicate
gone to the
that.
theater and just bought some popcorn and just left? Like, not buying a ticket, but you just went and said, I just want to buy some popcorn.
Okay. So
Because
yes.
I known a few people who said the same thing as
Yes.
you did. Where they say
Uh-huh.
like, I went to the theater just to buy a bag of popcorn, and I just left because
Yeah.
I just wanted that popcorn.
So I signed up before COVID. AMC was doing this thing where they were offering subscriptions,
Yeah.
and you could pay $20 a month or whatever it
Yeah.
was, and you could watch up to 3 or 4 movies a week. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to watch that, but I would go in there because I had the pass.
Mm.
I'd go in there sometimes,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm just gonna get some popcorn
And get the hell out of there.
and get out of there. So I would go after work. So I worked back in the day. I worked in Irvine, and I would go to the AMC that's like down the street, and I would go right after work. I would go. Oh, this is horrible. I would go to the AMC. I'd get some popcorn. Wouldn't even watch a movie. Just get out of there. And because I had to be in traffic driving
Yeah.
back to
And you're all like stuff in
Riverside
your
for 2
hand.
hours,
Yeah.
I'm just like
Yeah.
listening to podcasts or music or
Yeah.
whatever on the road. That's what got me through the traffic, listening to podcasts.
And popcorn.
And popcorn.
And popcorn.
And popcorn. Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that horrible?
I don't think so. Because,
Okay.
I mean, if that makes you happy. My mom, I think this was like 2 years ago. It was very recent. My mom was like, hey, Christian, because she's always calling me to do stuff for her. Say, hey, Christian, can you go to AMC and buy me some nachos? Like, what?
Their nachos are
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I was like, what are you talking about, Mom? I was like, the nachos and give me some jalapenos. Like, no, Mom, I'm not going to go to AMC and look weird and say, hey, I want to buy some nachos.
And walk out.
Yeah, walk out. I could just I could do the same thing at the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
the 7-Eleven nachos are not the same. I'm like, Mom,
They're not.
it's Tostitos.
Oh man, yeah.
But,
I
yeah.
think that's one of the things that I would do. I was so honestly during COVID, I saw a couple people on my Instagram post stories of them at the AMC 20 or the AMC, and I'm like, they reopened, and I would
Yeah.
mess. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
are they open? They're like, yeah, they're open, but you just have to, they're limited seating and everything, and I'm like,
I
oh
think
my
it's because
god,
they
I'm
don't
gonna go.
advertise it because they don't want like a big crowd.
Yeah.
It's kind of like selective, I guess.
But I actually ended up going because I wanted to go inside, and they were closed.
Oh.
So that it was short lived.
Yeah, very short-lived, man. Like Planet Fitness was open for a little bit.
Yeah.
The theater was open for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then they just closed like in 2 months later. Maybe not even less than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now like I passed by the AMC just maybe like the other day, and it's very sad to see all those poster frames just empty.
Oh yeah.
It's very apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Might as well have like discarded newspapers floating around.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's like out of a scene of
Yeah.
of a movie,
Yeah.
right?
But you know what? This is history that we're living in. We're gonna live. Everybody's. I want to say. We're gonna live through it. You know what I mean? We're gonna tell these stories later on to
Right.
like the youth and tell them what went on and all this stuff.
Yeah.
God willing. But you know what? That is something that we have to see. You know.
Yeah.
I guess with that said, I'm gonna wrap up the show, and do. Oh yeah, absolutely. Monique's gonna ask a question. Oh, do we have any more people posting like nightmare stories or anything like that? Or is it...
Post a nightmare story.
Oh, okay. It's okay. Hi, Mom.
So my question is, what advice would you give a future irate caller? Like they're already thinking that they're going to go into this call or into the store already mad so they can get what they want.
Oh,
what
thank you.
advice would you give that person?
I think it goes back to not taking anything personally. One of the things that I talk about in my book is that there's going to be two types of irate callers that you're going to encounter. One of them is the person that engages in angry behavior because before their mental balance was restored, and then the other one is the strategizer, the one that premeditated, the one that intentionally was like, I am going to go in there upset because that's the only way I'm going to get my way, is if I pretend to be super upset and I cause a scene and I get my way. Well, that happens. There's only two irate callers that you're going to encounter, and you're not ever going to know, but the first thing you could do is to handle the person first, then the issue. Okay. And so first you address the person, you try to calm them down, and you follow everything in my book to try to calm somebody down, and then you focus on the issue. One of the things that I always taught my employees in the call center fields is you want to focus on the available options rather than what's not available. So if you can't write off something for them, if you can't give them a discount, if you can't, you can go on and on about that, and that's happened where, because I do quality assurance and I listen to the phone calls and I try to develop the employees. Yeah. Well, I hear that all the time. Like, they're just focusing. They go on like a 2-minute rant about why they can't do what you're asking them to do. It's like, no. Focus on what you can do. Even though it could be one or two things, just focus on those two things. And then another thing is there's a really interesting book called Nudge, or The Nudge.
Is that Nudge is like another self-help book, or is that like a?
It's like a psychology book,
okay.
And you're sort of nudging somebody
to go your way.
You're sort of influencing them to go into a certain direction.
Okay.
And one of the things you can say is you're nudging somebody by telling them, most of the people in your position and with your situation normally do this.
Yeah. And
you're nudging them to do that.
Yeah.
Without being too in their face about it.
I see. And it's like a subtle movement.
It's like a subtle, I think you should do this.
Them,
yeah, I think you should do this. And you know what? I think trust goes a long way. If you're a customer service agent that is really taking what they have to say seriously, you're taking their issue seriously, they're gonna see that, and they're gonna feel that, they're gonna hear that, and they're gonna more than likely take whatever advice that you have to give them. If it's a gentle nudge, or you're like blatantly, flat out saying do this or do that, they're gonna trust you, and they're gonna say, oh, I'm gonna take your word for it, I'll do that, because there's like a sense of trust.
Yeah. It goes down to trust, right?
Yeah, it really does. But
is that it? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. Cool.
All right. Awesome. I think you did that great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I hope that answered somebody's question.
Before I move on, where can people buy your book? Is there like I know there's Amazon, but is there like another website or anywhere else they could purchase your book or anything like that?
So the paperback version is available on Amazon. It's available and worldwide too. I'm just like, whoa, that was so cool looking at the analytics of people around the world buying the book. BarnesandNoble.com.
Oh, really, man? That's so fucking cool, man. That's fucking awesome.
No. You know what? Can I tell you something about that really quick? They didn't tell me that my book was going to be on Barnes and Noble. I was on Barnes and Noble looking for something else.
Oh, you saw your book there?
I saw my book.
That's
like,
so fucking cool, man.
I'm like, who's gonna get paid for this? Like, I'm like, I had to look into it.
Like the royalties?
I'm like, who's getting paid for this? But
are you getting paid for it?
Yeah, I am. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. and it was just interesting. I'm like,
Do you
what?
think maybe like when I start self-publishing my book, you kind of like be my mentor?
I'll walk you through the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool,
there's a
man.
lot of steps, and
Yeah.
I'll walk you through the whole
Thanks,
thing.
man. I really appreciate
yeah.
it.
Yeah, and I've had other people like after I wrote the book, they came up to me and they're like, "Hey, you know, I wanted to write a book, and I wanted to write about this or about like a children's book," and I'm like, you know what? I'm happy to volunteer my time
That's really cool,
and
man.
help you out and walk you through the whole steps, and yeah, of course.
That's still your personality, man. Like you're helping people with the customer service, and you're helping people how to self-publish their work and all that stuff. You're like a mentor. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? There's another thing, man. Oh, have you ever thought about? I was gonna wrap this up. I'm still continuing questions, but have you thought about like doing a book signing like at Barnes and Noble? Because Barnes and Nobles is still open. I mean, it's gonna be like a
yeah.
little. It's gonna be like a little restricted, but oh, you already like? Did you deal with that or
I
what?
thought about doing that.
You should.
But you know, honestly, I'm like,
It deals with a lot
two
of
people
promotion.
are going to show up.
No, man, a lot of promotion. You have to do it like at least maybe like start 3 or 4 months ahead.
Yeah.
Doing like promoting the hell out of it, and if people don't show up, and well, fuck it, man. But
Yeah.
at least you're there. And you still like engage with people, like
Right, right.
have like a poster there, man.
Right.
Have like something free for them to grab, something to engage them.
You know what? You're right. I think I just need to
don't
do
act
that.
desperate at all. It's like, oh, blah, blah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
act
yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Just like a, I guess like a cool uncle. You know what I mean?
Right,
Just,
right.
You know, it's like, hey, what's going on?
I should. You know what? I should do that. I should just do it.
Yeah, man. And if you don't get anybody, you don't get anybody, man. Who cares?
It
At
is-
least you
it
did
is
it.
what it is.
You're not doing anything right now. I mean, not saying that you're not doing anything because, like, you're
It's-
not
you
working
know
right
what?
now. You know.
It's so funny to me when I was doing promo in India and the Philippines. I had so much love from there, by the
Yeah.
way, and so many private messages that I would receive that like like an outpouring of love, and I'm like,
Hey, man.
whoa,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
That's something you could think about. Maybe you could invest to like finding like a bookstore over there and try to promote over there, and you'll be like a fucking movie star, like in India. You know what I mean?
Right?
That
I
would
should
be
go
so-
over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the the crazy thing is I've sold more books in the United States, but in the United States, people just don't seem to be that engaged with
Yeah.
my social media content.
No, it's everyone.
Yeah.
You have to be like somebody famous or something like cute,
Yeah.
like you like. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
it's you have to find a niche.
Yeah.
You know?
You have to have muscles,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you have to
Super
show them
cute.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, super cute muscles. You have to be young. It's crazy.
Yeah. Dripping with swagger.
Yeah, exactly. yeah,
Which I don't have.
Hey, you and me both. I don't
hey,
have.
man,
I don't
I-
have swag.
I
can turn it on, but
Yeah. I have some personality. I mean,
Yeah.
I got some 2 boyfriends. I mean, that's to say
shoot. Okay.
something. That's something, right?
Shoot, the Tiger King
Tiger
number
King
2 over here.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not gonna go to jail though. Well, at least I don't know. Okay.
The only thing I got out of that
What's
freaking
up?
show, till this day I don't know the premise of the show. All I got out of the show was Carol Baskin.
Yeah, Carol Baskins, man.
And I'm not good with names, but
You remember that? 'cause
I remember that.
I remember that name because of Baskin Robbins and Carol.
Okay.
And Carol's just easy to remember
Okay.
for me
Baskin Robbins. Yeah.
because it's spelled the same way. I think.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. But
I
yeah,
think it's
that's a
spelled the
good way
same
to
way.
associate it with food.
And she also looks like Hillary Clinton
Does she really?
a little bit,
Really?
like her cousin,
Like, okay, I can see her cousin.
like a cousin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think she did it?
I think she absolutely did it. And she's acting all dumb about it, and she's got away with it.
Okay, I think she did it.
Yeah. I mean, she's
Low
like fucking
key,
OJ.
I think she did it.
She's fucking OJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did it.
She got away with
and
it.
she got acquitted.
and she got acquitted.
All right. So I'm gonna end the show now. And for those who been watching the show for a while, they know that I do a top 7. And for those who watched the last episode of Casually Christian, I did a top 7 for a Halloween special. It was pretty tough. It was like turning a punch bowl pretty bad. You know what I mean? But you know what? That's show business, and I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna try again doing a top 7 with some jokes. And today's top 7 reasons why writers procrastinate, because it's the subject matter, right?
That's
So,
right.
Here we go. Here, get ready for some dry laughs. Yeah.
Wait, do I have to say anything, or
No,
is this all
it's
you?
just all me.
Okay, good.
It's all me, baby.
All right.
All right. Number 7. 7 reasons why writers procrastinate. Number 7. Going to work. Because going to work is the whole fucking thing. You just wake up at 6 in the morning and you do things for 8 hours. That justify you getting paid 15 hours an hour.
Just tell me when to laugh.
Yeah.
I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
yeah. Like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, dude. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Number 6. Coming back from said work. That's you could chuckle. You could chuckle right there. Okay. Yeah. Number 5. Oh, The Office is on. Do you watch The Office?
Oh, no.
No,
I
you don't watch The Office?
No, I don't.
No?
No.
You're like one of the fucking few of people like who don't watch The Office. Like,
I don't
that's
watch
a
The
really
Office.
That's a really good show.
No.
Why? Like,
Wait, what? What was that?
That's a good reason not to write a book.
Oh,
'cause-
yeah,
'cause, like,
because you're
it's-
watching The Office.
Yeah, because it's so addicting.
Well, that's why I wrote this book, because I wasn't watching The Office.
Well, there you go. What's what TV shows do you binge?
Binge?
Yeah.
Oh my god, the same ones.
Yeah.
Golden Girls, Buffy,
yeah.
Sex and the City,
See, like
Married with Children. It's the same ones.
it's all 90s stuff, huh?
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
We're creatures of habit.
Yeah. Like The Office, man, like John and me and Alex, we just watch that show like we're done with it and then we just start all over again. And we're trying to get the most out of it cuz it's going to come out. It's December's the last month.
Uh-huh.
And then it's going to go directly to like the NBC app. And then that's it.
Oh,
So
and then
we-
you have to pay like
Exactly. You have to pay
additional-
exactly. We're not going to do that.
no.
So yeah, but it's a good show. You should watch it. You should watch it, dude. It's
Okay.
a really good show.
I'll give it a shot.
Okay. Number 4. When the writer says I'll start it tomorrow, what they really mean is they'll start it next year if they're lucky.
If they're lucky.
If they're lucky. Yeah. All right. That was a little bit better. These jokes get better as they go along because number 1's the top notch. All right. Number 3. A power nap. You mean a long hibernation? Because when you take a power nap, you just go to sleep
Yep.
because you don't do anything, right? You just brush your teeth and you fall asleep. There you go. Need a rim shot. All right. Number 1. One word. Hemorrhoids.
Okay, that was funny.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
funny.
that was funny.
See, that's what I'm saying. They get better as they get to
Yeah.
number 1. Right? All right. Number 2. Oh, I already said number 2. Oh, this is number 1.
No, you.
I said number 2?
You went number 2.
No, we're in number 1 now. We're in number 1 now, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll watch it later. Okay, number 1. I was going to start writing, but I ran out of liquor. Yeah.
I
So
love.
that was
Yeah,
good, that was
yeah,
good.
yeah. That resonates
Yeah,
with
that's
me.
written.
Yeah.
Hey, did you write your book on the influence of drinking?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
But I didn't drive anywhere.
No, well, of course not.
I didn't drive anywhere. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm
'Cause
like.
Before we
writing
wrap
about
up the
this,
show,
yeah.
I just want to say,
Uh-huh.
don't ever drink and drive. Don't ever do that.
Well,
it
yeah.
will follow you. It will
Yes.
ruin your life.
Yeah.
It's very expensive, and it takes a lot of your time. Like,
Uh-huh.
just don't do it.
Okay, I'm not
Don't
going to
do
go
it.
further into that conversation.
but don't do it.
because I did my top 7. So
Okay.
that's a foreshadowing thing. I know. Oh, okay. So thank you a lot for joining us for today's episode of Casually Christian. Thank you, Joshua Martin, for taking your time to talk
Yeah.
about your book.
Thank you for having me.
Mastering the Irate Caller. And thank you for anybody who's watching this live feed for taking a part of your day to watch us, just conversate for a little bit. Again, if you guys are watching this through YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, if you could just subscribe, that'll help us out in the long run. So until next time, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. So have a good night, guys. Bye.
Good night.
Yeah,
Thank you.
bye. Peace out, y'all. Yeah, those jokes are bad, huh? You know what? I'm just trucking through, dude. I'm like, all right, I just got to do these things,
Yeah.
You know, I watched Steven